Hello, everybody. My name is Lewis Lee, and this is Playing in Traffic, where we do this every Thursday night live on YouTube and Facebook. And we got the Pinstripe King in the house, Keith, and we got another Pinstripe King in the house, Keith as well. Keith Eccles and Skeeter. What up, fellas?
How's it going, guys?
Thanks for having us.
Oh, man, we appreciate you coming on. I wanted to show, I see all your work on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm a big truck fan, so I love how you pinstripe the semis. When you run down the whole side of a semi in one stroke, I'm like, man, I get excited and I go get my paintbrushes, and I can't do it. I just can't do it.
That's a whole art in itself right there. And when I see somebody pull a line, a whole car or the fender on a semi, which is the length of a whole car, it blows my mind. And I know, believe me, I know.
Well, my thoughts are, how does the paint don't run out? Because he'll run down the whole side and do a couple loops and twists, and the paint never runs out.
Well, that's all part of it. I mean, it's where I live. It's our temperature. Well, it's kind of like where you guys are. I mean, it can go from 100 degrees to 20 below, or 10 below, and so you gotta know how to like mix your paint for the temperature, like a little bit slower when it's cold. I mean, a little bit slower when it's hot, and you just got to dial that in, and you got to kind of do it by trial and error.
Right.
Otherwise, it's too sticky or too runny. And I don't know how I do it. Like everybody goes, because everyone's into measurements. It's 4-to-1 or whatever. They go, what's your measurement? And I says, I don't know. I stir it. Right, man.
When it feels right.
But yeah, those brushes are made to. You get enough paint in the belly of them, man. They'll go a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are you located?
Go ahead.
Where are you located? I'm
in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Salt Lake City. So if anybody's in that area and you need some pinstripe done, Keith is your guy. Do you have a website?
Yeah. Just KeithEccles.com.
Okay.
So get this. So it's like, so I type in I got KeithEcclesArt.com and then just KeithEccles.com. Well, it ends up that there's this dude down in New Orleans, and his name is Keith Eccles.
Uh-oh.
His name is mine, and that's KeithEcclesArt.com. This guy is fantastic, man. I mean, he's got like a school down there, and he just does killer murals and art. Well, anyway, he ends up calling me because he's teaching a class, and one of the students in the class goes, "God, this semi you did is like amazing." And he, what semi? I don't do. And he showed me, and it was that's Keith Eccles did it. And then he goes, "Sure as shit, that's my name," like so. And the funny thing is we're like months apart in our age too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's fantastic. But now I've been getting some emails here recently, like, "Hey, when are your classes? Because I want to get my kids into it this summer." I go, "You got the wrong Keith Eccles."
Tell them to send the money.
What's the chances of that? You got to name both artists,
That's something else.
I mean, we talk. I can't wait to actually this winter I might cruise down there and check out his studio and stuff, hang out.
Oh, that'd be nice. So you got any big projects going on?
No, not right this second. I mean, I don't know what you consider big projects, but there's 3 Kenworths outside and a boat inside and 3 motorcycles right now.
That's big.
But it's not like, SEMA big or, I mean, no big shows coming up.
Yeah.
Trying to get ready to, what I mean by that is just I'm being sponsored by a couple people, and I'm just going to start hitting some rallies, mostly down in Arizona, and over in Southern California. All the people I know over there, because it's really cold here. I mean, you guys know that you're in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to kind of get out of the cold. It's quite hard to do stuff here, as you guys know. When Kenworth pulls up outside, and it's got 2 feet of snow on it, and you got to brush it all off. Then you got to get it inside, get the metal warm, and you're spending about $600 in heat every month. Just the truck's got to sit inside and cure. So yeah, it's just twice as hard in the cold. But
Yeah.
I'm having super giant things coming down, other than normal. Normal.
Yeah.
Well, I've remembered why I hate painting, because I bought a trunk for my motorcycle and I decided to paint it this week. And I realized that I have to sand it and get the orange peel out and sand it some more. And I'm kind of sick of it already.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I should have took it over to Keith's house, let him work on it.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's like, I told you before the show started, I've been doing this 43 years now. And yeah, it sucks when when someone brings something in here and they want it to be painted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as long as I've been doing it, it's like no fun no more.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, Mr. Ray.
Finally made it. Thank you for sending the code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keith,
Browser issue tonight.
How you doing?
Ray from Motormouth Radio,
Nice.
the world famous syndicate radio station.
All right, thanks for having me, man.
Thank you for talking to me. Keith, how you doing, brother?
Me?
Oh, the
Another
other,
Keith.
the other
Oh,
Keith.
I'm doing good. Doing
Good.
good.
Keeping busy, I see. Both of you guys busy, huh?
Yeah. With the regular job is busy, and I've actually got jobs lined up. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm happy.
Nice. That's good.
Okay, you guys
Excellent.
talk for a minute. I'm going to pull up some of Keith's work on the other side over here.
Okay. I got a question for you guys, both of you being pinstripers. I recently, about a year ago, finally had my car painted, and it's one color. And even in its stock form, back in '65, they did a little double pinstripe down the fender, the door to the quarter panel, very, very calm. And I think it's screaming for that again. I think it really needs that. And amazingly, so many people that I talk to, all the guys in the body shop, all say, no, leave it just the way it is, no pinstripe. I'm like, really? I don't know. Is it me or is it them? I don't get it.
It's them.
It's them.
Yeah, do what you want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and these are guys in the business, and they know old cars too. So, just boggles my mind.
Yeah, but everybody has their own flavor. You know what I mean? If you
Oh,
like
yeah.
that flavor,
And I like to keep it simple. If I put stripes on something, I don't like going crazy. I got the two separate colors, just something tiny, and I got a little something on the hood, and that's what I like. I don't like going crazy with 5 or 6 different colors.
Yeah,
now, if it's a low rider, a tail dragger or something like that, it's calling for it. It just depends on the vehicle, I think.
I was gonna say when me and Lewis build like his lowriders, we'll go crazy with the with the striping. But until then, right.
I'm only doing the roof because it's too much stripes for me.
Yeah.
Lace up the roof.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out cheap.
Lace up the roof.
I did learn, because even though I'm not a painter, I have painted a couple of tanks and tins, and I've laid out all the flames myself. I can, I'm actually not too bad with fine line tape. I got an eye for flames, I guess. But I finally learned about like drastic contrast in colors, and how when you say it, it sounds so repulsively terrible, but when you see it, it looks so damn good. And
bring up a good point there because everybody thinks that us stripers, we got a bad reputation. We're all drunks and they'll do it for a bag of weed or whatever, and it's like it's not true. What it is you have to understand art. You have to understand hues. You have to understand tones. You have to understand complementary colors. Somebody brings an orange vehicle or a bike in here, and I'm going to throw green, and I'm going to throw purple, and I'm going to throw yellow on it.
Right.
Blues look super good on it, and they're going, "Are you kidding me? That's going to look." But once they see it, it blows them away, and it's because it's a complementary color on the color wheel.
Right.
And all of that's involved with what we're doing. It's not just hurry up and throw some lines. I mean, it actually takes a little bit of thought.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then the stripes are like on your ride, man. It's just supposed to be just one line. I just did a Ford yesterday, a big Ford 4-wheel drive truck, and they just wanted the black and the silver, the black and the gray. Just one silver line, 1/4 inch silver line going down the side of that. The entire look of that truck with just one line.
Yeah.
You don't have to go all nuts with it, man. And I like talk more people out of stripes. Hey, I want it door jams. I want it underneath here. I want it there. Dude, they're supposed to be there to just act what's there, unless the particular car that you're doing is going to be a pinstripe car. And I call it overindulgence. A stripe, we'll throw every trick in the book on it, especially if you're at a show. Hey, I can do this, I can do that. Then you ruin it because there's too much.
Mhm.
It's built like back in the Roman days. It was built for.
Right. Oh, wow. That's nice. Yeah, you talk about a 1/4 inch. My car stock, it had, I guess it was like a 3/16 stripe and maybe like an 1/8 inch below it. Or maybe a 16th. It might have been smaller. Yeah.
It's probably an 1/8 and a 16th.
Maybe an 1/8 to the 16th. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I think that's what it's kind of like standard, sort of.
Yeah.
And do that. Your car's gold, right, Ray?
Yes.
Yeah, do that in black.
Right.
That would look perfect.
Exactly.
That right there is off of a GTO.
Yeah. I reckon that's my hood.
That's so cool.
Well, actually, I think that's probably a 66 or a 7.
It is. You're right.
Yeah, I have a 65. The hoods are a little different.
What's
But
the odds
same
of that?
piece of shape. Yeah.
That belongs to a gentleman from he's in Manhattan, New York.
Oh, really?
And what a great guy he is, man. Name's Joe.
That's Ray's neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray's he's in Long Island.
Yeah, I'm just 30 miles out of Manhattan.
Yeah. Your neighbors. There's not enough people there. You'd probably know each other.
Yeah, right. Definitely not. Yeah, it's you never bump into walking down the street. Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, that's
I like the
beautiful.
fades and the.
I love that.
Is that a pearl in there that I'm seeing?
No, it's silver,
Silver. Okay.
blue that they painted the bottom part of that GTO. It's the same blue. I just put binder in it to kind of make it more transparent, more of a candy. But it's the exact same color. That's the thing too, is you want to try and marry colors together.
Right.
It's all part of all those colors are still a part of that car.
Uh-huh.
On kind of a 70s look.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, see, now that car, those 66 and 7s had that buttressed rear window. The sail panels are a lot longer, so it makes that inlay perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect spot.
Mine are short and the window is flat, so I don't have that buttress. They started that a little later. That's a nice effect.
To tell you the truth, it turned out a little bit better than I thought.
That's a nice happy accident, huh?
You can always say that afterwards.
Right.
Well,
Where are you located, Keith?
I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah. Of all places.
Okay.
Hey, Keith, do you ever get over to Kindig at all?
Yeah. I just actually I just helped him just before Christmas. We did a John Lennon's Rolls Royce together.
That's right. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and that was a fun project. You know, Dave's a great guy. He's for all of his success and everything. He's just a super nice guy, very cordial to everybody.
He is. I've met him. And I think we all met him on here. Super nice guy.
His shop is a well-oiled machine, man.
Yeah,
Really
sure is.
That on the show, you could tell it just the way those guys flow. I mean, the work they do is unbelievable. He actually bought a piece of my work off me. I was really excited about that.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's the truck that I seen you pull a line all the way down and never stopped with, never ran out of paint.
What's the scale factor? Now, how long is that actually in real life?
Well, that's what that is, and that's a cab extender piece, and probably about 12 foot.
Wow.
Yeah, easy. Ray, when I tell you he ran down the side of it and never ran out of paint.
Wow. The never-ending brush.
Yeah, I was amazed.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's a lot of good brushes out there now. I mean, compared to when I started, that was like I said, 42 years ago. I started out as a sign painter, and pinstriping was just something to add
Flavor.
to the sign, yeah. And then, of course, hot rods and dragsters. And
I got a piece of work here.
Yeah, beautiful. So you were saying before we got on that you're really enjoying doing the semis, huh?
no, I would rather do a truck than anything. That's both. That one there, that's Alaska. That's about 42 foot long. It was all gold leaf. That thing was huge.
I love gold leaf.
Anything big, I like doing that. But that's a lot of gold leaf on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot right there in front of you there.
So you're using that stick as a guide to guide your hand or steady you, I guess?
Yeah, that's called a ball stick,
Okay.
and it's an old sign painter's. Everyone. Okay, so when I started, there was no computer, no cell phones, and everything was hand lettered. All the freeway billboards, all the grocery stores, all the doctors' off, everything was lettered before vinyl. And you could always tell a good sign painter because he'd come in with a paint box, and that maul stick was just part of the equipment.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It actually helps steady your hand, yeah, but for bigger jobs like that, it keeps my hands off the, so I'm not sticking my finger.
Well,
Damn, you're as old as we are.
let me tell you what I did with one day. I'm painting using the stick and drug the stick through the paint. So that's why I hate paint.
Yeah, there's different. Primarily I've used one shot my whole career, but there are some urethane paints out there now that are just great. I love using House of Color, Tamco, Hot Hues. You use those at the rallies because they dry like instantly. Yeah. And
really?
Yeah, you can go right back over it, drag your fingers right through it. It's already dry. And it's great because they don't smear it when they get on the bike and go, enamels take a little bit longer to dry, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
But paint's come a long way too.
Keith, did you ever try using the Alpha enamel?
Which one?
The Alpha enamel out of Michigan.
Alpha? Yeah. Yeah, Alpha's good too. To me, it's like enamel's enamel.
Yeah.
And urethane's urethane.
Yeah.
So I've always said this. When my customer comes in, and they want a certain job done, then it's up to me to discern how I'm going to do it. So if it's going to be a situation where urethane is going to be a better outcome and or enamel is going to be a better outcome, then I'm going to use whatever I need to use to come out with the best outcome.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's a tool. Paint is a tool. I don't mean it in a bad way.
Now, is this 65 Impala?
No, it's earlier.
Is it?
That's like a 63
Yeah, that's a 60.
or a 4.
Yeah, probably 64. My screen's super little, so I gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of lowriders out here too.
You know, that we were just looking at it for the last 5 minutes, and now it's off. But that striping work, it hit me right away. It reminded me of a schematic. It looked like a piece of an engineering, like a piece of a schematic. It's just like the preciseness of the lines. That is so nice.
Yeah, it is.
And that's part of being a striper too. If your symmetry isn't the same on both sides, that always blows people away. Like, how do you know what you did on the other side? But on a hood, something like that, you always do, or at least I do. I always do the left side first. I'll go to the right side because with my eye I can see the left side. If I did the right side first, I cover it.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a little trick.
I got to remember that one.
Old timer trick.
Yeah.
Right.
That little one-shot mural on the back of a fur pack of a Harley.
Those feathers are now. I learned that from hanging around with tattoo guys. It's like you want to really see something and judge a guy. Look at feathers, eyes. Certain little detail things, and yeah, those are real nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the wolf, yeah, beautiful.
Well, when I grow up, I want to have something done like this.
So, let me ask you guys, in the mechanic world, some guys, not all, they tend to collect like ratchets or wrenches or screwdrivers, and have I know guys that have 60, 70 different ratchets. It's like, damn, how many do you need? What do you guys do? Both of you Keiths, what are your thoughts as far as striping brushes are concerned? Are you guys minimalists or maximalists when it comes to the amount of brushes that you own?
Go ahead, Keith.
I have quite a few brushes, and sometimes you buy them not knowing how it's going to work.
Yeah.
And so I have a lot of brushes that are just sitting there that I don't really like, just because maybe it's because I'm not using it right, but I'll find another use for it and maybe use it for something else. Like my portraits that I use, scrolling, I'm not a scroller, but that every one of my portraits that I've been doing, I use a scrolling brush. So that's what I use my scrolling brushes on.
Well, I can see like anything else. You buy brushes because they're tools, and maybe they don't work out, they don't feel right. And now you're not going to use them. It's a good enough. I mean, and even like with the guys with the ratchets, we all have our favorites. The go-tos.
Yeah,
and I'm sure both of you guys do too. So Keith, number 2, are you a minimalist or a maximalist?
No, I got mountains.
Yep. Okay.
Mountains. I'm kind of fortunate because I've been around for a long time. So some brush companies, a lot of brush companies will send me brushes.
Yeah.
Hey, to try this out and check it out. Give us a real critique on the brush, but I do have, when you said go-to, I do have go-to brushes, which is really stupid because they're in the pile, and I got to dig through the pile every day to try to find that brush.
Yeah.
And some days I can find it, and then I'm thinking, man, and I ruin a lot of brushes. I'll like using urethane or something like that, or the phone rings and I got to talk to a customer. Someone else comes in the door. I've left that job I was working on for about 2 hours to come back and brushes talk.
Yeah, and they're not cheap. They are not cheap. They're small, but they're expensive. I know.
Same thing. Wrenches, though. I mean, you want good work, then use the best tools.
Right.
I can refurbish like dried out brush. I got a way to clean them up so they're brand new. Because but yeah, I have mountains of them.
Right.
Hey, Keith, what's your favorite dagger brush? You have a specific?
I don't want to get in trouble here, but
yeah, I know that's why I was kind of hesitant on asking.
We're alive.
Well, I know.
You can send me an email if you want.
Well, I'll tell you this. Damn near all brushes or dagger brushes and swords are made from are made at Mac. And then what you do, like if I had a Keith Eccles brush, then Mac would make them for me to my specification. But the good old green and black wraps are some of my favorite to this day. And then you come up with my scrolling brushes. I got a ton of scrolling brushes, but I still use my own. I'll get a number 6 lettering quill, and I'll get a razor blade, and I'll get oil on the brush, and I'll cut around the neck of it, and I'll start pulling all the hair off of it until it's a nice, fine, long point. And those are still the best scrolling brushes I use to this day. Dago is a very good friend of mine. I use a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
I like the Todd Hanson's as well. I really like the Dragonflies, the Turner brushes. Steve Chisanka, Wizard, he's got those Black Widows that are super good.
Yeah.
Steve's here in our town too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's not too far from us, and Guy Shively.
He's amazing, that guy.
Yeah, they're our neighbors, basically.
Yeah, yep.
You got a lot of famous people out there.
Yeah, we do. It's a tough business. I picked the wrong hobby to get into.
Yeah. There's nobody out here with me. It's like, there's a few stripers out here, but nobody, everybody, Salt Lake City, Jesus, all that's out there are Mormon cows, like this is a huge ass town. It's also one of the biggest construction firms in the United States. Oh yeah, it's Crossroads. My shop is literally at I-80 and I-15 Crossroads.
Yeah.
You have to go through here if you're going to LA or really hours any direction. You're in a huge. You got to go through.
How long have you been in Salt Lake City, Keith?
Well, I met my wife here at a car show. That's 1 or 2 years ago. I've been here since.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was born in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, nice.
But
I just had a car in my driveway yesterday that was bought on Colfax Avenue outside of Denver in Aurora. It was my sister's old car. She used to live out there. Now a friend of mine owns it. He's owned it for a number of years, and it went through. He restored it, sold it to his brother. His brother kicked it around a bit, then parked it, and then he passed away. So my buddy got it back from his sister-in-law, and now he's driving it again. So it's yeah, just had a piece of Colorado in the driveway.
Wow.
Okay, it's 9:30, so I'm gonna get the fellas that are usual guys that hang out with us, and they can ask you some questions, or they can come on and tell lies with us.
There's my man. There's Matko, man.
Hey, Keith. Both Keiths. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Good.
Sorry, I got to get close to.
Papa Squirrel, you want on?
I did have a couple questions. I enjoy watching you guys do what you do. I wish I had more patience, and unfortunately, I drink way too much coffee. So, if you want a scratchy line, I'm probably really good at that. But did you have any influence? I mean, you said you started out being a paint signer, a sign painter. But did you have any kind of influence to get you into the cars or trucks or automobiles, or was that just you stumbled across and ran with it?
Oh no, I've had plenty. I knew Ed Roth for a little while. And when I was growing up as a kid, I'm 65 years old. So when I was growing up, he had models and all this other stuff. And I got to, when I was in California, I got to kind of mess a little bit. Know him, but there's that's because once I was Gary Stoll, and it's before social media and all this stuff. It was Idaho here, and he was one of the best strikers, painters, guys I've ever met in my life. And he was super influential in making me go on this career. Also, there was a couple of signs, lettering. So, yeah, I did unsung heroes or these guys. I mean, there's Big Daddy Rat, Von Dutch, Von I mean, people, are pretty famous in California.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys out there that are just amazing. Nobody ever knew about.
Is anybody else hearing Keith break up, or is it just me?
No,
he comes and goes. You're unfortunately you're coming and going on your volume there.
Well, if your audio is a little scratchy too, by the way, just not as bad. But
yeah, yours is the same way, Liz.
Okay, good. So just want to know it's not me. Okay.
No, but it's just awesome. I got to meet Ed Roth one time. I was at a World of Wheels, and we were there, and it was the funniest thing because he was sitting over in a corner. And I was like, I told my buddy, I said, man, that's Big Daddy. And he goes, that's not the drag racer. And I said, no, that's Ed Roth. And he goes, who? And I was like, never mind. So I went over and I was like, hey, I'm, honored to meet you and blah, blah, blah. And I still can't find it to this day. It drives me crazy because I know I have it in my collection here. But he pulled out his little box and pulled out a 4x3 10 sheet, and he doodled up a pinstripe thing and handed it to me and told me he had a great day. And that was just that was like one of those moments that and of course that's before cell phones and everything else. It's like, man, it's like one of those things that you tell somebody that and they're like, yeah, right, whatever, but it's just awesome. And like I said, I love what you do. I just wish I had the patience to even try, but who knows?
It's funny. You guys talk about sign painting, like literally signs. This is kind of like the only piece of artwork I've ever had my hands in. I didn't do the whole thing. I only got to do part of the pinstriping, but it's Steel Street signs, and they make great platforms to work on.
As long as you don't get arrested getting
I know. Late at night, in the dark, hit and run. You want to make sure you get the ones without the security bolts on them.
Yeah, get away from the camera.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, I tell you, there's a lot of talented artists, like you said, pinstriping.
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad that the art didn't fade away because it almost tried to with the vinyl signs and the computers. But I'm glad you weathered the storm. Well,
the thing with me is it's the only thing I knew how to do. So So I just kind of stuck to it, not like knowing that it was a dying art. That's all I know how to do. So
Had to eat.
Yeah.
yeah, they were talking about Big Daddy. There were two of them. There's one in Florida and one in L.A.
Oh,
There's
really?
a Big Daddy rat in Florida as well.
Oh.
Different guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys knew him.
No.
No.
Probably just good.
No.
He must have been good if he got away with using the name, because you can't just move in like that on someone's territory and get away with it.
Yeah, it's on now, but they were both. Again, that was before. Yeah,
Internet.
Yeah.
you only knew the people in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the internet's opened up the world, really.
Oh, it sure has.
A little too much.
Yeah. In a lot of cases, you're right. Very true.
The only thing I like about is when we were before internet, you used to have a library in your shop because you'd need reference.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone comes in, they go, "Hey, I want a Chinese tiger on the side of my gas tank." Then we'd steal a lot of books from the library,
Yeah.
our library here at the shop. And then, but what I love about the internet now is you can just Google Chinese tiger and blam, you got 100 of them,
Yeah.
reference. That's cool.
It almost reminds me of like a tattoo parlor or shop,
right.
where you just have your books. And like I said, if I came in and said, "Hey, I want something on the side of my car," and I guess you tell me to go look at the books if I didn't have an idea.
I mean, now that so many people, I design my tattoos, but a lot of people go in, they look at the flash and they just pick what they like. I mean, if you like traditional, you like Japanese, it's, and when you see it all out there, it makes it, a little easier because you don't have to, I actually sat there and designed it. I wasn't going to go for anything pre-made, but yeah, tattoo flash is cool. And guys take that with them. That's sacred property. If you have your own flash. Yeah.
That was it. You tattoo shop and go, I'll have number 26.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like ordering Chinese food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keith, when you were talking about the spectrum of colors, is that just like is that kind of like a rainbow of colors that you compare to when you have a color, or is it just an idea? Where if I came in with a purple car and tell you to put a stripe on it, what gives you the basics, or where do you go from? Is that just gut instinct or your talent of that?
There, the other Keith just got it. That's where you go there.
Right there.
Okay.
It's called a color wheel.
So if he points at a color on top of that wheel, go directly below it, and that's a complementary color that would fit to go perfect on your car.
I see.
They've already figured it out. That's where it comes from right there.
And guys like Keith don't need to look at this.
Here, it's now it's like,
I can see getting the 64 pack Crayola Crown set out and see where that all lines out. But I don't know if I have a little bit of too much of Granddad's cough syrup, and I start saying, I think this color will go good with it, but I don't know if that actually works.
Brian, you just got to fess up, face it. As long as it's Wimbledon white with that ice blue stripe, you're good.
Yeah, well, I know I can't walk away from the blue car anyway, or
That's
the
all
white.
you need
So
to see. That's right. And like I said, with tools, we all have our favorites, our favorite tools. We have, go-to colors. Like we're just kind of programmed that way to like certain shades and things, and
creatures of habit.
Yeah.
As far as colors and everything.
Well, like it speaks to you. Certain things make you feel more comfortable, or and we gravitate towards it. And
well, it's like that's the same thing with scroll work. I can tell you who pretty much cross country who does what just by looking at it because we all have style.
Mhm.
Right.
And I've done this one certain scroll. I can't tell you. There's out here Dick Simon Trucking, and I worked for Dick Simon Trucking I did all his fleet for probably about close to 30 years. Did for 3,000 trucks for it.
Wow.
And I did the same scroll on every single truck. Got that, like, and but everyone here, they go, "Oh, I can tell that's yours."
Right.
A little bit of practice, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of practice.
So, what's the smallest thing that you've pinstriped?
Penny.
A penny.
Yeah. Why would you want a penny pinstriped? I don't know, but
Yeah.
but
We were talking about it a few weeks ago. I have a friend who was another amateur pinstriper, but he started pinstriping Matchbox cars.
yeah,
I mean, he didn't start doing that. He ended up getting to that point, and it was pretty damn cool. You know?
Yeah, that's. I did a poker chip, but I did with a lot of design myself. That my grandson gave me a Hot Wheel car, and says, "Papa, can you pinstripe this for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It took a while, but it was like you said, it's pretty cool looking if you got the right color and the right vehicle to put it on.
I gotta step out. I gotta grab a charger real quick before I lose you guys
Okay.
Okay.
in the other office.
All right, we'll be here. Yeah, everybody, if you can go check him out on Facebook, he has all his pictures on there. Pretty sweet stuff.
Yeah, he's amazing. I told him I thought he was a good dude just because of his name. That's how we met.
Eccles is a great name. It really is.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
So Keith,
Yes, sir.
I think Peaches need a couple stripes put on her. What do you think?
Yeah.
We could do that to Peaches.
When you want to do it?
Just well, let me see. Next weekend's shot. In the next couple of weeks, we could do it. When you're all done with her.
Well, you got to get your ignition module box thing first. So
yeah, it's in the mail
over there.
Yeah,
did you find one?
Yeah, I found a guy in one of the groups. He had one laying around, so he sent it to me. So it's in the mail now. I'm waiting on it.
Good.
So I figured I'd paint the box. I painted the box yesterday and cleared it, and so I started wet sanding it today. And then I'm thinking, I was like, man, I think I need to throw some stripes on it. So Keith, you're gonna be my man.
Okay.
I don't know what colors. What do you think? Where's your chart?
Well, the magic chart says, well, you know what? Something on that. Being that it's like a gold color.
I mean, you can't go wrong with black, obviously.
Hold on.
Well, you got black, or you got like creams or browns.
The creams and bright, yes.
Yeah, like an ivory and black would look that'll look pretty cool on her, I think.
To give you an idea, when I had my Super Glide, I painted it House of Colors. I forget what they called that color, but I called it Needix Grape Soda Purple because it really looked like Needix Grape Soda. And then did Aztec Gold Flames on it.
That'd be nice.
Said, wow, what are we going to pinstripe this with? Because those colors just popped. And I just tried to go with a simple black pinstripe on that, just to break. Cause I did a couple of cross flames and layovers, and just kind of kept it simple. And I was thinking, put some lime green on there, and that's why I started thinking about those other colors, but just stuck with the simple black and let the other colors do the talking.
And what's cool is with the paints that we use, you could put a couple lines on something, and if someone's really against it, you just wipe it off.
Right.
Or a lot of times you can put like Scotch tape on the vehicle and do it right on the tape. It's translucent, so you can see behind it. If they like it, and pop it off.
Right.
But the big things now out there, you got that ceramic coating on these vehicles
Yeah.
You can't put nothing on it.
Right.
I don't know if they got anything out there yet to cut it.
You had to get the new Matco green tire wheel buffer.
Oh yeah.
They say they I watched the video. The guy say this will take off anything.
Yeah.
I can
It'll
see it
take it
now.
off all right.
Snaps your paint off.
Any more than I ask before they say, hey, can you do this? I go, yeah, but is that ceramic coated? If they say, yeah, I just walk away. It's not worth the hassle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that stuff.
Are you able to get around it, Keith, or or you just tell them no thanks?
You know what'll get it off is ammonia.
Wow.
I mean, it'll knock your ass out, but
Oh yeah.
But a little bit of ammonia and some water. But then you're going to all their ceramic coating that they spend all this money on.
Right.
Stick to it. You put something on it, they'll be back in a month, and all your stuff fell off.
All right.
It's a cool thing for your car. Makes it look really great, but not friendly to a painter at all.
Yeah.
And so that ceramic, I mean, that's like, I don't want to use the word forever, but I mean, there is no breakdown in that over a period of time.
It's like 10, 15 years on some of it.
Really?
And you can pay up to $2,000 a vehicle to get it done, if not more.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. I mean, you could pinstripe on a wrap better than anything like that.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, you can stripe it before.
Right.
Ceramic coated. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
so that's one of those things that you should think about before you do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know it was because we have like ceramic coating stuff for like doing the toolbox. When you clean your toolbox and spray it down and so forth. And I haven't done mine, but like I said, I don't want to. If I've got a guy on my route that's a striper, and I want him to do the door to my locker, but I guess I shouldn't do anything and have him do that first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even vinyl won't stick to it.
Wow. He wants to go a little crazy, and I want to just be traditional, old school, straightforward, and that's where we're at our head. That's where we're at our point about why I haven't had it done yet.
Well,
but,
I think you got to go to that old dictum of the customer's always right.
Yeah, well, I'm, me, Ray. I'm kind of.
Well, I'm saying, it's your product. You got to look at it every day. He doesn't, so you should get what you want.
Yeah, I know, but I understand where he's coming from also, because you can't use the terminology. You have free reign, and then I tell you what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. Are you turning liberal on us now all of a sudden?
No, I'm not. No, but I just
you can't sit here. There's some Kool-Aid out there that you're drinking in a nice cold glass.
My coffee is a little strong tonight. So
I got to keep an eye on my friends. You got to watch these guys. You never know what they're going to pull on you. You got to watch them, and you got to pull them back. You got to pull them back if they start slipping.
I can't walk in and say, "Okay, Keith, do what you want," but by the way, you got to stay within these rules.
Well, no, then I think you walk in and you say, "Hey, I came here because I want to use your service. I trust you. I like your work. This is what I want."
Yeah,
that actually happens a lot.
Yeah,
or they'll bring me something and you got free reign, but this is what I want.
See, that's when I hear that tells me I understand it's a double-sided thing. You could say I give you free reign because what that means is I trust your ability. I know you'll do something amazing. But on the other hand, if I think people can say that and have some creativity in them and just know what the realm of creativity is, what the borders are. But I've heard too many people say it who didn't have an ounce of creativity in their body, and they just felt, you make up my mind for me. And then all they do is bitch about it afterwards because, that's not what I wanted. Well, that's not what you said.
Yeah.
So, you got to know the customer a little bit, I guess. You got to dig into their psyche. Brian knows what he wants. He just maybe wants a little extra, a little flair, but
Hmm.
but he doesn't trust his own creativity. I know him. He doesn't trust his own creativity. That's
why nothing gets done.
Well, we all set our own. We'll have our own roadblocks in life. Yes, absolutely.
Well, with customers, you definitely have to. You got to really open up. So I've seen a few stripers out there in my career where if they won't let you, if the customer won't let you just do what you want to do, then they won't do it. But if
Wow.
you're for a living for 42 years and you got to have some kind of finesse with the customer and some kind of customer relation and talk it through. And then, I can do this and I can't do that, but we can add this, but I'd rather keep that out.
Did you start, Keith, when you were about 23? Was that about when you started doing this?
Well,
I did the math quick, so, you threw out numbers and I subtracted.
The first car I ever striped was in Mobile, Alabama.
Uh-huh.
And I was 18 then.
All right.
So, but it wasn't I didn't think it'd be sign painting was a career. I thought it was a noble job because there's going to be signs till I'm dead.
Right.
So, job forever.
So that was around 75.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure was. That's 75 is 75 is the year I graduated high school.
Right. I'm a year behind you.
Yeah. And then I kind of went out and I was going to be the world's greatest artist. And that didn't go so good. So, yeah, I'm still doing it. I was going to retire when I was 30 years old. That didn't work so good either. Great career and a great life.
Yeah.
I got a great family.
I just started doing this a little less than 10 years ago. I'm 60, and I didn't start till I was about 51, 52 years old.
Yeah, that's amazing in itself.
And the people that I've met, all you guys, if it wasn't for my pinstriping, I wouldn't have met any of you guys. And
If it wasn't for Lewis. Lewis is the man who brought you to us.
Lewis and I, how did we got together something with the bikes.
Yeah, we were at Quaker State. I brought Lou Santiago up there.
Yep, and we started talking and BSing, and the next thing you know, I'll never forget it for as long as I live, because it was the funniest thing that ever happened to me. Lewis and I were in a store. I go, "Hey, Lewis, how you doing?" We only met 2 or 3 times tops before that. Yep. And we start talking, and he goes, "I'm getting ready to go to SEMA." And I'm like, "Man, I would love to go there." He goes, "You want to go?" And I'm like, "What?" So my wife was there. I says, "Hey, can I go to Vegas?" And she's like, "I don't care."
It was on.
Next thing you know,
we got an Airbnb.
Yeah, it was on like Donkey Kong. It was unbelievable, and I forever in your debt as far as getting SEMA.
Oh, no.
It was absolutely amazing.
I think every man needs to go at least once.
It was amazing. And you know what's cool? I got asked to do a helmet that's going to be at SEMA this year, so that's really cool.
Yep.
So I'm really excited about that.
What's worse, helmets or gas tanks?
You're doing a helmet?
I'm sorry, what's that, Keith?
You're doing a helmet?
Yep. It's let me show it. I hate these helmets.
I would love to wear one, but they're not DOT approved.
Well, it's a baseball helmet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm doing those too.
So
I would wear one, but they're not DOT approved.
No,
I want to keep my head intact.
Yeah, there's not much in there's no liner in this one. I just got the shell.
Yeah.
You would think that company would make them where they're strong enough to be DOT approved.
Or be like some of the companies that sell them here in New York, where they sell you the helmet and on the side they give you a little sticker that says DOT, and you just stick it on the back.
No,
I'm
I
not
need
saying
my,
where, but
I need my head to be intact.
yeah,
Yeah, this one's. I mean, the reason they made this one is to keep it the low profile, to make it look as much like a baseball cap as possible, but still have a tad of protection.
so that is an actual motorcycle helmet sold as
Yeah.
a motorcycle helmet.
Yeah, well, it's sold as a novelty helmet.
A novelty helmet, right? Okay.
Yeah, they state that on their website and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, Mike's Pro Lids. I'm not a fan of them, but this is again, this is a huge honor for me to be asked to do this. So I'm like,
it's a look, you know.
I just don't know what I'm nervous as all get out to do this. So
It's going to be at Jack's booth, right?
pardon me.
It's going to be at Jack's.
It's going to be at
Truly.
Car Rep.
Oh,
What's
Yeah.
the
Clear
theme?
the company that does the clear. They're going to have, that's where the display is going to be.
What's the theme of the paint job going to be? What are you laying down on there?
Well, I'm doing it in my style as far as my portraits and that go.
Okay.
I have an idea of what I want to do, but I'm not sure yet. I'm just I don't know. And it's
You're
going
like
to be
Ryan,
small.
you're overthinking it.
It's going to be small. That's why when I did that last guitar, that was small, and that was huge practice for me for this helmet. So I never did anything that small before with that many lines. So
Just have a couple shots of Granddad's cough syrup and just let it flow.
Why don't you emulate Billy Gibbons' pineapple kind of thing hat, but in paint?
it's hard. It's hard to come up with.
I know.
The artists that they got selected for this, I think there's like 25 or 30 artists
Really?
from all over the world. It is absolutely insane. And just to be considered to do this is just beyond belief. I mean, I look at it and laugh because it's like, holy crap, I can't believe they asked me. So
Yeah.
Well, why not? They sent me one too.
well, I understand why you got one.
No, don't ever discount yourself, Keith.
Yep.
Well,
We all got to start somewhere, and we all move up as we do. And I mean, and you know what? Us artists, we're never ever satisfied with what we do.
yeah.
When we're doing it, it's like, man, this is going to be the greatest thing ever seen everywhere. And then when you're all done, and you go, man, that didn't turn out quite like I wanted.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
Well, I'm doing a portrait right now of a young lady that I actually know. And this is the first portrait I'm doing of someone that's alive and that I know.
Oh,
So I keep asking her, I go, what do you think? What do you think? And
No, you
she's like,
can't. I'll tell you something. As an outsider to your work, I don't think you can judge your work until it's done. You can't do it while you're doing it. I mean,
Yeah.
Well-
you can see it. I've watched your stuff progress, and you can see the progression, but it doesn't really hit you until it's finished.
well, what I
Yeah.
did with this one, since I did her face first, because if I screw up the face, the rest of it doesn't matter.
I agree.
So her face is almost completed. And I
Right.
did post a picture tonight. So if you get an opportunity to look at it, she's gorgeous. I'm excited.
I was going to say, art like music are two things where you're never really happy with what you do. You think it could always be better. But I do that even with mechanical stuff when I fabricate things and even stupid little brackets or little components. I always look back and say, let me look at it from this angle or that angle. Or you go away and you come back the next day and you go, that's crap. Who the hell did that? And
yeah.
just do it again. And people say it's just
Well, I've
it was
walked away and come back days later, sometimes weeks.
Yeah. So you can do that with anything that is of a creative nature. It's because you're your own worst critic. We all are.
Yeah.
And it's just, the thing is not to let it roadblock you so you don't do any. I've seen plenty of people with art and music and with cars and motorcycle work where they hit that roadblock and they close the garage door and then they'll leave it for a couple months. Next thing you know, everything, there's cobwebs, and then it's like now it's an ancient project. and you can't let it beat you. You got to go out and beat it.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, it's interesting too when they bring it back. Like, hey, dude, do you remember me? You striped my car in 1982. I go, oh, dude, I don't remember you.
Yeah,
Then bring their car in, and it's like, dude, I remember that.
right.
And hey, that don't look too bad because I haven't seen it since that long. But when I
Right.
probably hated it.
Yeah, well, that's good because you get to see your old work resurface again. So that's interesting.
Oh yeah, it's there. As a matter of fact, there's a graveyard, I call it here, of old Peterbilt cab overs and old Kenworths, and they're all out in the field. And it's so cool for me to go out there because I did a lot of those trucks
Oh yeah.
along with the guy that taught me, Gary Scholl, a lot of this stuff. And to walk out there and say that, I'm outliving some of my work is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Very neat.
That would be a great book to put together of your old work on those trucks.
Yeah.
Well, they call them, some of the signs on the buildings that we did, they're super faded out, and they call them ghost signs.
Right.
Because they're still there, but they've just been there for years and years and years.
And they look so cool. They really do.
Yep.
I'm pretty lucky to have the career that I've had. I've seen an awful lot of changes going on, though. Oh man, the way it was and the way it is. Well, we have in the whole world.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the most extreme change you've seen?
Well, probably when the plotter first came out, a vinyl plotter.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It was so funny because everybody wanted vinyl because look at how sharp it is. Look at how clean it is. Oh my God. And then if you're doing a bunch of fleet trucks or whatever, and all the logos have to be the same, it was definitely the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that bothered me about it is it literally killed the sign writers in the country. All the timers that taught me, they just retired and talk about the lost art. Hand sign writing is a thing of the past. There's still quite a few of us still doing it. So now, fast forward 35 years, now people who were born 35 years ago, they never seen somebody actually hand letter something.
Mm-hmm.
And they see it now going, holy shit, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Well, how the hell you do that? How'd you learn that? Like, dude, this is how it was done.
Yeah.
And so I think, and now we're having another switch where everybody's seen vinyl, large format printing, vinyl cut letters. Now all of a sudden, if you can find somebody that's super good at hand lettering, and there's quite a few out there, well, at least on Facebook, then they want that. I mean, I'm doing more hand lettering right now on trucks than I have in years because it has soul.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
You can tell it's hand done, and it just looks cool.
Yeah, just that little flaw or just that brush stroke that you can still see in that letter. It like you said, it's soul. It gives a character. It's neat. I agree 100%.
So that's kind of the transitions that I've seen that, and it really bums me out too, where I will, I'll go ahead and do, let's see, I'll like teach people how to pinstripe, they One Shot sponsors me and they'll send me out and do classes, here and there. And to watch someone like Keith or myself stripe something, it looks really easy. Like I thought the exact same thing when I first seen it, like, oh shit, I could do that easy. but then you try it, and you can't figure out why you can't get it.
Right.
And it's very difficult. And then when I tell some of these young guys, I go, it's probably going to be about 3 years before you can actually stripe a car. Then they're not interested.
Instant gratification.
Taking 3, that kind of bums me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's society. Yeah. It's instant gratification.
Yeah. The first car I ever pinstriped was mine, and it was terrible. And I was doing stuff on canvas, and I was at a car show, and I was inside, and I'll never forget this guy come up to me. He goes, "Do you pinstripe cars?" I says, "Just mine." I says, I've never done anyone else's. And he turned around and walked away. Well, then this bigger guy came in. He goes, "You pinstripe cars?" I says, "Just mine." He goes, "You're the one I want." And I'm like, he goes, "I don't want it perfect." I says, "Well, then you got the right guy." So I went out there, and I had all my paints. I had everything with me, and why I brought them, I don't know. And I did his. It was a '59 Ford Ranchero that had a patina paint job on it, but there was no rust, nothing, and it had a matte finish clear on it. And I went out there and I did I'm sitting there and I'm doing it on the top of the fender. And I could feel people behind me, and I spun around. I swear to you, there had to be 100 people watching me.
Whoa. No pressure.
And I'm like, I'm filling my pants. I mean, I was like, oh my God. So I did both fenders in his tailgate, and he paid me. And him and I have been friends since that day, and I've done more work for him since then.
Oh, nice.
And I thank him every time I see him online for having the balls to ask me to do his car. And for me to have the balls to do it. He says he popped my cherry for doing someone else's car.
Right.
I was like, "Dude, I don't know, man." And he goes, "I want you to."
Have you ever been to a show and someone's breathing down your neck? I mean, literally breathing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, I said that's the only time it bothers me at a show. When we're striping at rallies and shows, man, it's like a bar fight going on, man. Everyone's all crowded around, and what's going on over there? People love to watch. I say I'm a human fishbowl. It's like going into the doctor's office and you just stare at the fish tank, waiting to go get the situation taken care of. I can watch this all day long.
Oh, we were at Crazy Paint one time, and I'm doing this panel, and I happen to be sitting right by where the people are, and I'm sitting there, and I'm up close, and I'm pulling some lines, and I could feel something. I mean, right here, and I went, and it was this old dude. I didn't kiss him, but I made the sound. He stepped back, and his son was there, and his son started laughing. He goes, "Dad, you can't get that close." And I go, "I don't care." I says, "That's fine." I says, "Just don't blow in my ear anymore." Other than that, he was like right here. And I was like, what the heck? It was funny.
We do that. Another pinstriper, really super talented, is Bugs. He's out of Phoenix, Arizona, Bugs. And him and I are very dear friends. We've worked Sturgis together for a few years, and we do that all the time when we're at a rally. I'll lean real close right into his ear, and I go, "You're so good." And then he'll do the same thing, because people do that. They're just literally right here.
Oh, I'll see Guy Shively at a show, and as he's striping, I'll get up close to him. I go, "Is that a sticker?" and people, and his wife is there. I know his wife, and she'll act like she's upset, and people don't know that I know them, and it's quite funny.
Yeah.
I got on my truck, it says Keith Eccles pinstriping lettering. I'll stop and get gas, then inevitably someone goes, "Hey dude, do you go do you do pinstriping? Every time. No, I put it on the truck, just,
Yep.
That's crazy.
A lot of people ask me too, they go, can you really make a living doing pinstriping?
Yeah.
It's a great, I don't know of any way make the kind of money I make that fast. It is awesome occupation. 'Cause you
Oh
can
yeah,
work when you want.
you guys that do this for a living, I'm in total awe of you guys, and I envy you guys very much. And I know you guys put your dues in, 42 years, and I just wish I would have started sooner. That's my only regret.
See, I'm the same way with leather. I started doing leather about 10 years ago, and I wish I would have started when I was younger because it's so stress relief. Did I say that right? It's a
Yeah.
stress reliever. And man, I could have saved a lot of stress and a lot of beating up people. Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely meditation. I mean, anything is. Like a mechanic, when you're wrenching on something,
Right.
and you're good at it, you know what you're doing, you go zone. You just disappear in the zone. And
Yeah. Yep.
4 hours gone by and you don't even know what happened. Yeah, it's definitely meditation for sure. It's true with anything you love.
Yeah.
Anything you love with, and this job here that I got, I'd say it's a good 80% passion.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the money's good too, but you can't do things that you hate. I know a lot of people at jobs that they hate. They make good money, but they dread going to work every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad feeling.
I dread going to work every day too because I'm so goddamn busy and I'm old. That's all. I love what I do.
Yeah. When I retire, I think I'm gonna pull a trailer behind the bus with all my leather stuff in it, and just make stuff. You know what I mean? If I sell it, cool. If not, I got a whole bunch of leather stuff to play with.
It's interesting. I was just talking to it's either my wife or one of my daughters, and they're all career people. They all make good money working for the man, but they're going, it'd be so cool to have a skill like I have, and you can work whenever you want and make as much as you want. And I think there's a big lack of skill workers
Mm-hmm.
in the country right now because it's a passion when you have a skill and you get good at it because of your passion. And it is. I mean, I don't know because I'm from another generation. I don't understand. Everybody I know works in a cubicle in front of a computer. And that's not well for me. I guess it'd be a skill for me because I don't know how to do it. I'm using a cell phone right now.
I didn't know how to do it either, but I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wish I was better at it.
No, but to your point, Keith, everybody, the people in this world who are on a positive track are always going to learn. They're always going to grow, even if it's inconsequential things. You're just picking something up that it doesn't have to be world earth shattering. It just has to be. You have to be going in a positive direction.
Yeah.
And there's not enough of that anymore. Nobody free thinks anymore. Everything is just. They get it off the internet. They hear it on Facebook, and nobody thinks to question things anymore. We grew up questioning everything. I'm always. It's funny. My daughter just got a job at a PR company, and that's their motto. Which is cool because they're all younger. So I'm glad to see she's in an environment like that. But question everything, and not in a nasty way, in an inquisitive way. You know what? I don't understand what you were talking about. Explain that to me. Let me, let me learn a little bit.
And it's interesting you say that because, like for me and my wife, when I just want to be. I don't understand. So I just want to be clear. They get pissed off. And, like, ask questions.
Yeah.
Like, clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not very good.
Well, fellas, I have to jump ship.
Yeah, same here. That's what I was just typing in.
Everybody in the pool.
But Keith,
Everybody out of the pool.
I
So
gotta
Brian's
go.
learned to question everything too. He's always questioning his customers. He's like, when are you going to pay me? Why haven't you paid me? Where are you going to be when you pay me? It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So Keith, hey, I
Why
really
should
appreciate.
kick your ass. I'm sorry, Louis.
No, you're good. I really appreciate you coming on, man, and I always enjoy talking to you. Like when we see each other at a show and stuff, I look for you. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Keith, it was
Pleasure having you on, Keith. It was great.
It was awesome.
Still alive.
real honor to talk to you again, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Don't
Now,
call,
Keith,
Appreciate
don't
your
call
work.
me sir.
Hey, Keith,
So
Yeah.
Keith, listen, Ray stays on. He does the after show, so you're welcome to stay on and chat with the fellas. But I have an early start in the morning, so I got to go to bed like a little
That'll
kid.
be all over soon, Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
rolling out too, guys.
We'll
So
both be sleeping late. All right, Keith. It was good seeing you too. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good.
Yeah,
Oh, I just saw the picture of Monica. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, Keith, stay in touch. And everybody, I'll see you next week.
All right,
Take care,
Sounds great,
everybody.
brothers. Take care. Be safe.
night.
Later.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
All righty.
let's see. How the heck did I get out of here? I want to go right there. See you guys.
All
See
right.
ya. Take care.
So long. Oh yeah. So Keith, it was something, man. It was something growing up in the 70s. Huh? Wasn't that cool?
I am so grateful I grew up when I did.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
I've had a bunch of younger guys work for me. I'm retiring next week. I'm done. But I had my career. I had a bunch of younger guys working for me at the school where I was at, and they were all various ages. Some were older than others, but the ones that I got close with and would talk to, I would tell them, I was as old as their parents, and I would tell them what it was like growing up in the 70s, and a bunch of these guys like, wow, my dad never told me that. I'm like, no, your dad's not going to tell you that. I'm like, because first of all, like you say, if you remember, you really weren't there. But I said, I got nothing to lose. I'll tell you how it is or how it was. And I have another friend now, my friend's son, who's younger than my own kid, but yet he's running his own business now. And he says, I love just listening to you talk about how things were back in the day. He goes, because he's a car guy and he's running a shop. And he says, man, it's not the same. But the underlying commonality that I saw with a lot of these kids, which really, really bothered me, because probably a half dozen of them said it to me specifically. They said, I see what you do with your friends. Well, I was helping my one friend's son one day. He had to get a wheel off his El Camino. He had strip lug nuts. So his dad calls me. He says, can you help him out? He lived in town where I am. Yeah, send him over. So what I thought was going to be a 10-minute job ended up being like a 3.5-hour job. And he said to me at one point, he says, how do you guys do this? I'm like, what do you mean do this? What? He goes, no. He goes, my dad called you when you were having dinner, asked you if you could help me. And you said yes, and here I am. He says, and your whole night changed just to help me. I said, because that's what we do. I said, when your dad asked me for a favor, I'm going to help him. I said, if I ask him for a favor, he's there. I said, we have what's called 3 a.m. friends. You call these guys, you don't ask where or why, just say, where are you? It's kind of that code. And he says, none of my friends do that. He goes, if I call my friends for help, they scatter like the wind.
Yeah.
I said, dude, what happened to the generation? It's only a couple generations past us.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. It's like when I say I'm going to help you, I'm 100%. I'm 100% there, man. And I absolutely, you know, I was asking my wife this the other day. I go, why is it so different? Well, when we were growing up in the late 60s and 70s, there wasn't as many people. I mean, I don't know what the statistics are, but we've had to at least double in
Probably more so, yeah.
triple. And so now it's just a whole bunch of crowd control.
Yeah.
You know, back then we didn't have that much technology. We had each other.
Right.
And we helped each other. We worked with each other. We, you know, and it was more skilled labor back then. It wasn't so much a mass of electronic stuff, you know.
Well, I tell people that all the time. You know, I say, you know, we were fortunate that our parents were World War II and Depression era generation. And, you know, as a kid, 8 years old, riding your bike, you'd see the guys out there, you know, neighbor was a banker, but he was doing a tune-up on his car on a Saturday, and the other guy was mowing his own lawn and changing the blade, because a lot of these guys were vets and they had some experience from the military, and it was a can-do attitude. It's like, you know, I can do this, I can fix this. And now that's just gone. You know, people see me doing stuff like, how'd you learn to do that? I'm like, dude, I've been doing this my whole life. It's like, I don't know how to do it another way. It's like, my first thought is take it apart. Let's see what's in there, you know? But yeah, the generations have changed for sure.
I have people go, how do you know all this stuff? And I go, how do you not know all this stuff?
You know, the one guy watched me adjust points and set the dwell on a 6-cylinder Chevy. And he said, and I was showing him what I did. And he said, you know, how do you know this? I'm like, I knew this when I was like 13 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, come on. I said, because I had to know it if I was going to work on a car, you know. And I was at the shop yesterday helping him working on a 64 Caddy, and the same thing. I brought my tack dwell, I brought my vacuum gauge, I brought all my old school stuff, set it all up. And the guys who walked, all the body guys, they were all Hispanic and Mexican, and they're walking by and, how's it going? How's it going? I'm like, yeah, I'm getting there. And they're like, well, and they're like cheering for me to get the thing going. You know, it's like, because
I had a guy in the shop today, and he had a set of AC gauges on a car, you know, and he's like, man, look at this over here. And I was like, yeah, you might want to drain some oil out of the system. And he's like looking at me like, well, how do you know that? And I was like, dude, you're going to hang a part on that's not going to fix the problem. You know, it's just, you got to realize that this car is 15 years old and somebody has a mentality of putting 2 ounces of oil dye mix in it every time they put Freon in it. And it's, you know, now it's like way past its oil limit and things just don't flow, you know? Well, how do you know that? And it's like I said, it's just amazing. Well, it's not taught anymore, you know, or shown. It's very sometimes it's very upsetting.
It's funny because with this Caddy, you know, this is the one I had to get running about a year ago. It was running like crap. So they literally started and we just had to back it up 10 feet. So it was outside the shop so it wouldn't kill anybody with the fumes. And he shut it off. It ran. I watched it. And I put my gauges on and now I can't, now the car won't start. I'm like, what the hell? So one of the guys comes over, he says, what's the matter? I said, it won't start. He goes, oh, pump it. I'm like, no, I smell the gas. I said, I don't have ignition. He goes, well, how do you know? I'm like, well, first of all, I got the tack dwell and the timing light hooked up. And I'm not seeing a reading on the dwell meter, and I'm not seeing the timing light flash. It should do that as it's cranking. And it's not. I'm not getting a signal. And believe it or not, what it was is that it was the negative wire on the coil. When I put the tack dwell clip on it,
you pulled it out.
The wire was hanging on by a thread into the spade connector, and it fell out. So I didn't even see it because it was hidden. So I looked right there. I got my test light and checked and said, okay, let me look. Okay, the wire broke. Fixed that. And then I'm putting a nut on and tightening it up, and it won't tighten. So I take it off and I look real close. I'm like, the threads in the middle of the stud on the coil is stripped. So this thing had no chance of having a good connection to the distributor. And that's, so I put a couple washers on it, backed it up, found a good spot, and then the car started up and ran beautiful. And I said after a little bit of a kick in the ass, it was a pretty easy one. I said, but you just got to know, it comes back to, you got to know your basics. You got to know if you're not seeing this, it's got to be this, it's just basics.
Hey, Keith, what other kind of hobby or what do you do to relax other than pinstriping?
I get asked that question a lot because I am kind of a workaholic. I mean, that's all I really enjoy my job, and people go, man, you got to get a hobby. What do you like to do? And I go, what I do, but I do tattooing work as well.
Oh, I was going to ask you that if you did a tattoo.
Yeah. And a lot that are kind of getting into the tattooing, or tattooers are getting into striping.
Right.
Kind of goes hand in hand, but
you can't wipe it off.
I like getting in my GMC Duramax, hooking my fifth wheel up to it, and going in the middle of nowhere, and just sitting there. I mean, it's weird, but I mean, I really enjoy that.
What type of music do you listen to in the shop when you're working?
I listen to a lot of old Western.
Cool.
A lot of old country music, but also Bob Seger.
Yeah.
All that good stuff when we were growing up.
The very best of outlaw country. Just got this one.
And
one of my favorites. But
I can't stand, I don't like the new country music. It's not.
It's the new pop is what it is. My younger daughter likes it. And Dad, you got to like it. And I'm like, you know what? I listen to it. I hear pop music, but kind of like in a pleasing way. It's not pop like I knew pop growing up, because that was the, like the Cowsills and the Osmonds. So it's got some redeeming qualities. I'll give it that. There's always a good hook. There's a good chorus, or they know how to write a song. They do. But give me David Allan Coe any day.
Oh yeah.
When
I'm working late at night, I crank the blues. I just love blues music, man. Especially when I'm in here by myself, I just super crank it.
Right.
Awesome.
It's pretty, it's creative. Music is super creative, and I think it's a huge part of the creative process too, to have really good music going on while you're working.
I've always said music and art are they're very, very close in nature. You can be a musician and not an artist, or vice versa, but you have that commonality. There's a big commonality.
When people first look at me, they go, you're either a biker or an artist.
Yeah, or both.
Or both, yeah.
And what was the strangest thing you've ever striped?
Let's see, strange.
A Matco toolbox.
Toolbox. Boy, there's been a lot of them. It's really, this sounds weird, but awkward, I should say. So, like when I'm working Sturgis, then some guy will bring his wife up, and then and go like this and say, "Hey, stripe my wife's boobs."
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm obliged to, no problem. But sure. It's awkward, It's usually Sturgis, they're already 3 sheets of the wind, and.
Right. Oh yeah, well I can understand it, but I just didn't know if you had some dude walk in with a toaster oven and say, I want a stripe on this, or,
I seriously, we stripe everything, covers, toaster ovens, bread makers, microwaves. It's just, it doesn't limit itself to cars whatsoever.
Right.
Many years ago, I was playing around with striping a little bit, and my wife came home. She's like, "What the hell are you doing?" Because I was doing spider webs. I was trying to do spider webs, and I did the wash machine and the dryer. And she's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "I needed a surface. I needed a corner." I said, "So."
Yeah.
Yeah, they come in my shop, and I'm not known as a super organized guy.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone goes, "Well, you're an artist." I go, "Yeah, I'll take it," But I worked a lot with Mondego, and working with him and I work together. It's like Oscar is like the odd couple.
Yeah.
So he's kind of anal retentive on how organized he is, and he's like afraid to even reach in my brush box where he thinks he's going to get a disease or something. But then I have executives come into my shop, from some of the paint companies, and I'm kind of embarrassed. It's like, oh man, sorry, it's such a mess. And then every single one of them, they're in suits or whatever. They're going, no man, this is exactly what we were expecting to see. My shop I got artwork everywhere in this place, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, and it's years of artwork, and a lot of stuff that I, rejects or whatever. But it is pretty cool. Everyone that walks in here goes, "This is the coolest place I've ever seen."
Sure.
And I go, "Not really."
It's like going back. It's like going back to the 70s. You walk into a head shop. It's like, wow, I'm home.
Exactly.
In fact, I remember I was about 10 years old, and it was a head shop in town. And I guess the people that owned it they seemed old. They were probably like 30, husband and wife, and they were really cool. And you go in, and of course, it was super dark, and the Doors were playing all the time. It was always a Creedence or Canned Heat.
Yeah.
And they let me hang around, and I started like sweeping the floor or organizing the jeans, and and it's just that smell of like incense and the darkness and all. It was like, man, this is really cool.
I burn in here at the shop.
Yeah, I did. I burned it in my garage. I burned it in the garage. Anyway, I don't care. I love incense.
Ask a kid. You say what you just said to anybody. Like, yeah, man. I mean, they had the coolest head shops back then, and they'll look at you like, "What the fuck you talking about, man?" Like, what's
doing valve jobs? What, do a valve job? What are they doing?
Yeah, they're all
right.
I mean, t-shirt shops,
right.
head shops. I mean, those were the good old days, man.
I'll never forget, the name of the place was General Todos. So it had a really cool name too. It was
ours was a Village Idiot.
Okay, we had one here, Cosmic Debris. That was another. I still have the bumper sticker on my toolbox out in the garage.
Oh wow,
that was another popular one.
Yeah, we were super lucky to grow up. Yeah.
Well, super lucky we made it out.
That's true.
I was just talking to a guy yesterday. He's 10 years younger than me, and I said to him, he says, well, you made it. I said, you know what? I tell my kids all the time, they shouldn't be here because I should have never been here to have them because of the stupid shit I did. I should have been gone. I should have never made 22, but there was a higher purpose, I guess.
I'm going through that same thing like right now. Like I had, this sounds weird, but so you can't stop getting old.
Right.
I had no idea that I'd even make it this far. And when you start getting old, I equate it to when you bring your first baby, your first child home. You go through the pregnancy, you go through the birthing situation, you come back from the hospital, you put that baby on the couch and you go, holy shit, what do we do now?
Right. Where's the manual?
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing about getting old. Like my mind is still telling me I can do as much as I used to do.
Yeah.
And I got 3 or 4 jobs planned for the day, every day, and I'll maybe get 1 or 2 done. When I used to just kill it.
Yeah.
I can't go that fast no more. No matter how hard I try.
Right.
So it's a weird thing. I kind of have PTSD that I'm still alive, and a lot of the people I hung with and did crazy shit with, they're not. It's nuts.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I'm really, really happy. I mean, I'm super happy.
Right.
And nowadays I kind of equate it. Well, as an old man, you can get away with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
especially with the ladies. And the other thing is I feel like a teenager with money.
Right.
I can go do whatever I want.
Sure.
Yeah.
We paid our dues. Our kids are all grown. Our grandkids are out going to college, and it's just like, man, what do we do now? We can go do whatever we want, you know.
Right.
It's kind of an exciting time of life, really.
Yeah.
It's definitely crazy. Definitely crazy, you know, like you said, because like you said, you know, I plan out stuff that I know that, you know, what I used to be able to do. And then, like you said, it's after the 27 trips to the bathroom and then the 15 minutes of every 10 minutes trying to figure out where you put something down or where you put it, you know, it drives you crazy. And it's, you know, it's interesting. Like I said, yeah.
Well,
Trying to.
my shop is like, it's like has a revolving door out there. I mean, it's just one person after another coming in all day long because it's a fun, cool place to be, and it's kind of, you know, it's out of the ordinary. It's not. We're a mom and pop store, and we do cool shit in here. We always got race cars, Harleys, you know, just so it's a cool place to be, and it's just seriously all day long. People are just coming and going. They want to talk, or they just want to watch me work. And everybody goes home about, you know, like going home time, whatever that is. And I'm still down here trying to finish all the shit that I was going to do during the day because we got interrupted so many times.
Right. Yeah.
I talk too. So.
Yeah. Keith, are you just on Facebook, or you have Instagram too, or are you you know, not venturing it much into that, or what? Like I said, I like to, you know, link into you, follow you more. Like I said, I enjoy talking to you, but yeah.
I'm on Instagram a lot. I like Instagram.
What is your handle on Instagram? How can we follow you?
Keith Eccles, but my name on there is Dirty Fingers.
Okay.
Dirty Fingers. Dirty Fingers, clean money, right?
Yeah, for real. And I post a lot on Instagram. I just started getting into TikTok because late at night you can do all kinds of cool shit with the videos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Facebook is just kind of a mess to me, but
yeah.
But yeah, I really love Instagram. I think I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I think it's Keith Eccles, but if you put in Dirty Fingers, it'll come up too.
Okay.
It's social media is pretty cool. I like keeping in touch with everybody. See, we didn't have this back when we were. I mean, you just knew the guys in the neighborhood, or you heard about somebody in the neighboring state, and that was it. I mean, that was your whole world.
There's a great meme I keep seeing on Instagram. It's a picture of a bunch of like Stingray bikes laid down on the lawn. Right? You see that? And they said, "This is how we knew where our friends were."
I've seen that. It's
true. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's so true. But yeah, it has, you know, everybody says that technology is helping us. I see, because of my age and what I've seen, you know, seriously, if the United States got unplugged, it would collapse, man. I mean, it's just like
we're heading there because they want everything to be electric. I always said it, you know, the technology is a great tool if you use it for the right reasons. It's also a very destructive tool, and it's killing kids' minds.
It is.
And, you know, not to get on another political type of rant, but with all these shootings, I've had the contention for years. It's video games.
I agree with that.
And I'll tell you why, because when my kids were younger, I'm not a video game, but I was playing some James Bond video games I liked, and we went up through every time we got a new platform, the game got better, more interactive. And I see it. I said, I would sit up there, I would sit at night playing this thing, and then I would dream about it. and it was like taking over my head. I'll go one better. I'll go back to 1972. I was in the chess club in high school.
Yeah.
And I played chess every day and at night. And I just I just lived it. And I remember going down the steps to change classes at school, and there was kids going both ways all over. I remember thinking, wow, if I jump over that kid and that kid, like I was doing chess moves in my head. And I said, whoa, what am I doing? It's like I'm on the stairs, but I was thinking like I was on a chessboard. That was an analog version of watching these video games.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the worst influences on kids. These kids are not developed yet.
I agree. I've never been good at video games, so I never got into it when they first started coming out. But I noticed a lot of them are just total, hurry up and kill the other guy.
Right.
And then your mind becomes more like it's no big deal.
Nope.
So
like Grand Theft Auto, where they're stealing cars, driving through. Yeah, same thing.
I think I'm agreeing with you. It's, in my opinion, I think it's harmful. But
I mean, the worst thing we saw growing up was Marlon Perkins, and like if a gazelle like killed a cow or something, that was like the worst thing we ever saw on TV.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember this? So when I was in high school, no shit, we all had either a Chevy or a Ford pickup. There's a gun rack in our back window. There'd be a shotgun and a 30-06 loaded. The back of our windows at high school. That was just a normal thing. We never thought about that we're going to go out. We were going to go kill somebody. It was just part of the thing.
Right.
Everybody had guns in their back windows, and I remember that. It was like we usually just got in fist fights. We didn't like pull out, the hardware. We just.
I was just telling my wife tonight, Brian and I watched Adam 12 reruns on TV. And I told her, I said, the beginning credits of the show, they got the woman dispatcher and they got the cards coming down the ramp and the call goes out, 411 fight group with chains and knives. And the way she says it is like chains and knives. It's so ominous. I'm like, that was like a fucking, that was like a back alley brawl, man. Holy shit, they got chains and knives. Fuck. Nobody brought a gun. No 12-year-old. You brought your fists, and if you brought a chain or a knife, you were a real badass. You were in a fucking gang,
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's all I worried. I mean, when I worried about my brother, growing up, there's 4 years difference. And like I said, the biggest difference for me was you had to worry about a guy with a knife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then, in the 4 year difference in high school, then you had, like, for my brother, I mean, I was like freaked out that you were going to, have a gun. That was a big difference. And
now the kids are bringing them to grade school.
Yeah. And like I said, it was always funny because even when you looked at drinking and driving, it's, I don't recommend it, but, as a kid growing up, I'd get stopped and the cop would say, hey, you've had too much. Look, I don't want to catch you back out. You need to go home.
Right.
And, of course, my brother saw I got away with it. They thought that he got away with it. And, of course, I'll never forget because I did get nailed for drag racing one time. And I had
Keith, it's only because he was wearing a dress. It wasn't for
no, but, the funny part was that I had gotten nailed. I had to go to driving school.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting in there and there's like 18 guys all in there and they go down the list and everybody was a DUI, DWI, driving while under the influence, the whole 9 yards. And the guy goes, all right, the big guy in the back, what are you in for? And I was like, oh, drag racing. And and the guy looks and goes, what, you think this is 1956? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was wearing my chinos too.
That was just the time, unfortunately for me, I'm just in that time period change,
right,
where it went from, like I said, I wish I was born 10 years earlier, because that's more what I fit into than versus where I was. But
I tell people, I told some of the younger guys, they were talking about high school. I said, look, when I was in high school, I said, we had jocks and greasers. Yeah. I said, I was a greaser because I wasn't no jock. And I said, I was listening to doo-wop, 50s music. I said, that was my thing, even though it was the 70s. And
Right.
I said, but that was our thing because you fell into one of those two groups, and that was all there was to it. And, now there's emos, and then you get into all the transgender shit, and you need a freaking dechronificator to figure out what the hell letter somebody is. It's like, it used to be easy.
Right.
Yeah, I went through high school smelling like 90 weight. So
Me too. Yeah.
that's why I didn't have a girlfriend. My cologne was a little strong.
I tell you, when I found Easy Rider magazine in the 70s, like sophomore picture, I'm wearing a horizontal stripe, like prison t-shirt with a cut off denim jacket. That was my class picture.
Well, back then, tattoos were a bad thing too. Now everybody has tattoos now.
Oh yeah.
When I was growing up, they were done, in a dark room at your house, or at a biker rally or something like that. But that wasn't cool back then. Now it's
you had to be in the Navy.
What?
You had to be in the Navy and get like a real an anchor that bled. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, very true.
Well,
times have really changed.
Oh man, I'm telling you, and that's why I say I'm super glad I grew up when I did. So
yeah,
it just seemed to me like it was less complicated. You could go mountains and just pull over anywhere. Now you can't. I mean, you'll get trespassing or whatever.
Cameras everywhere.
Yeah, it's nuts nowadays. So
yeah.
So that's why I stay in my little hole down here and just do art.
Right. Well, that's it. You got to stick with what you like, what you love, where you belong.
I tell kids that all the time, man. I'm telling you, if you just follow your passion, everything else works out. It just will, because it's a passion that you love to do, and everything always comes together. I don't know how, but it always does.
You got to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one thing to work and make money, and sometimes you do it for the man, but it's packed. But luckily my daughter just got a job doing what she loves, and I said, you know what, you're very lucky. You're fortunate to be able to do what you really like to do. It won't be work. You're gonna have a great career.
Yeah.
But not everybody has that ability.
It's not till you get older, then you realize, don't waste your life, man. Do what the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
Because now it's too hard.
Yeah. Right.
I just energy and all that, but don't stay in bad relationship. Don't stay in a job you absolutely hate. Just it's too short.
Sure, it is.
And then again, I didn't think I'd make it this far. So
yeah.
And I should have took my own advice.
Well, it's different, when you're living it and when you're preaching it, it's totally different. I mean, that's what being a parent is about. We all know that.
Yeah.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like I said, if I could just go back to when I was maybe 35 or 39 and just start from there again, that'd be cool, because I'd be I was really in my heyday back then. I was really moving and grooving and I was totally different. So if I could just start from there now and go forward again, that'd be great. But we don't get that chance.
You got the memories though.
Yeah. The ones I can remember, at least. of all the things I've lost, I miss my memory the most.
I know. I'll paintbrush in my hand 1 second, and I swear to God, a blink of an eye, I didn't turn, I didn't look around. All of a sudden, that brush is gone.
Yeah.
Happened a little bit too much, man.
I made a rule a while ago. If I'm working on something, if I leave the room or the garage or the shop, nothing in my hands. Put it down first, because what I'm going to do is go to the next room, and the first thing I'm going to do is put it down and then go get something else. And then, of course, you forget where it is, and you'll spend all day looking for it. You'll find it tomorrow.
Never see
that's what I was saying.
Right. That's why guys have 60 ratchets. They just go get another one. Yeah,
it's bad enough that you spend all day looking for your readers and they're on top of your head there. You know what I'm saying? So,
and then of course, cell phone in the morning when I'm leaving and I'm talking to a customer, I'm trying to hurry and go, God damn it, I can't find my phone. And it's right up here in my ear and I'm using it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stuff's the stuff that drives you crazy. Trust me.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Ray, Brian, I'm going to bounce. It sure was nice talking with you guys.
Keith, it was a stone cold pleasure, brother. Stone cold
Yeah, it was
pleasure.
awesome. It was awesome. And hopefully one day I can see you in person and maybe you could stripe something for me.
Yeah, I got a project right now that needs striping, but I'm a little further away from Salt Lake City. So
Yeah.
I'm usually out in Cleveland on that, that all Pistons Autorama out there.
Oh, cool.
I didn't make it this year, and it was the first one back finally since COVID, but I'll be there.
Do you know many East Coast guys?
Yeah.
Artie Schilling is a good friend of mine.
Yeah. Artie's part.
Had him on the show many times, and he's from Paterson, New Jersey. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. Went to Artie's party a number of times, the Syracuse Nationals, and
well, Steve's out your way, Wizard. I talk to him about once a month or so. He's a great friend, and then Glenn Weisenberger, I think I can't ever say his last name.
Okay.
He's in New York.
We got another guy out here, Gary, the local brush. He kind of stays close.
Yeah, there's I know him, Brian the Brush as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a close community you guys have. You really do have a great network.
Yeah, and thanks to social media, I mean, I never would have known anyone back east, that much. In the South, I know a few people, and out on the West Coast, I know a whole bunch of people. So
Yeah.
But it's good, and I like the camaraderie, and especially with professionals like myself that's done it for a living our whole life, to get together and swap ideas, things that we have already learned but we've forgotten about, and we remind each other about it. And it's so cool to talk to somebody else that knows what you know on the same type of level.
Sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love shows too. I love getting together with other. I used to not like that, but I'm working with other artists now.
That's awesome.
Artie does his panel jams all the time.
Yeah.
Which are cool. Brian, he'll take like 4x8. He takes 4x8 sheetrock. He scores it and makes a tent out of it. And there's maybe 6 stations on each side. And there's an artist at each station. And they'll just start laying down whatever they want. It's a time thing. It's maybe like 3-4 minutes. Or and everybody just switches stations. And at the end, everybody has added to every other piece. And it's amazing how you see the cohesiveness come together with all these different styles. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, we do that out at the Grand National Roaster Show. You do the same thing. You got 3 minutes or 1 minute. Bing, go to the next. Yeah, they turn out cool.
It's great to watch. It's phenomenal to watch. Because at Syracuse Nationals, Artie had guys coming in. One guy came in from Hawaii. Another guy came in from Italy.
Wow.
And these guys are from all over the world, and they come in to do this stuff. And it's like, wow, it's great to see the different styles. We'll go One Shot sponsored, of course.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty tight with those guys.
Yeah.
Well, I've used it my whole life.
Right.
I think maybe that's why I'm half alive, because I got so much thinner and thinner and
right.
my system that nothing else will live there. So
yeah, exactly. Well, I'll tell you, awesome. Lewis didn't say it before he got off, but I will. Anytime you want to come back on, if we're here every Thursday night, you want to jump on, just jump into the thing. Lewis Ryan will let you on, and you come in with us and chat, and we'll hang out, and
yeah, I'd love that.
Part of the family. So whenever you're around, just feel free to jump in with us.
All right, right on.
All right.
That's awesome. It was a pleasure talking to you. Awesome.
Pleasure. And I'll meet up with you someday, God willing. Here.
I hope so. Excellent.
Okay, Keith. Take care. Right. Be safe, my friend.
Okay.
Hey, later.
All right. Good night. So I was talking to our buddy Johnny the other day.
Yeah.
He's hurting. His back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to cut him open?
He's out of commission. He's in bed, out of commission, and they're gonna find a game plan to get him whole again. So
Wow.
yeah, he's really hurting. So
yeah, I thought about him the other day. I almost called him, and it's been so crazy. And I was going to call him just to see how like I said, how he was doing. And man, it just sucks. I tell you.
I was leaving him alone. I didn't want to bother him, and then he called me. I'm like, okay, all right. I guess you want to talk to somebody, but yeah he's and of course got the job. I mean, he's got stuff to do. Can't help certain customers. There's just stuff he can't do because he's not there.
Yeah, I know. That's just. Hopefully
he'll be back on his feet and and going again soon. Because that's some tough.
Yeah. Stuff. Yeah, it's not good. And
no.
Every once in a blue moon, I can stand the wrong way and get a little twinge. And I like I said, they told me well, I don't know, 8 years ago that I'd be on the table and they were going to cut me open, and I knew there was no way. I don't.
It's funny. I've been taking stuff out of work every day, and I had a set of tools. I had two full 3-piece tool chests at work, and one of them I brought over to the shop 4 years ago, and the other one I was using, and I had to get that out of there. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? And I was able to unbolt them, and I got the top box onto a cart, middle, and I wheeled them downstairs. I'm on the second floor, and then I rolled the bottom cabinet down. So a couple of weeks ago, top box was on a cart. I rolled it out to the FJ, and when I opened the back door, it was right about at the height of the back. So I was literally able to just slide it off the cart into the truck and push it in without emptying it. I'm like, oh, that was good. And the middle box I was able to lift because I didn't have much in there.
Yeah.
And then the bottom box today, I had to take all the drawers out of it, and then just wheeled the box out, just picked the cabinet up, shoved it in, laid all the drawers in, took it home, took it out, and put everything back in. And of course, all the drawers went back in fine. And then this Yahoo walks on the block. He's asking me, hey, is this cul-de-sac? I'm like, no, it's a dead end. And by looking over at him, when I turned back, the drawer fell, and like everything just fell out of the driveway. But luckily, it was the metric wrench drawer, and I didn't have I had one set of Craftsman wrenches in there with a bunch of the little other stuff, so it was easy to pick up. And then I had to wheel it into the back, make room in the shed, and now I had to get that top box on top of I couldn't put the middle in because I didn't have the height in the shed, so I got it done, and I came in, and my wife says, wow, you look tired. I'm like, yeah, I got that toolbox to fit in the shed. And she's like, why don't you just get rid of it? I'm like, it's full of tools.
Yeah.
It's like, and they're mine. It's like not my top level stuff, but it's still good stuff. So she's like, how did you do that? Because when I had the top box in the truck, I was looking for help to get it out. And then I remembered, like, okay, I took it off a cart. So I brought a stainless steel work cart home from work. And the same thing, I took it out onto the cart and rolled it back. So I told her, I said, I'm just working smarter now, not harder.
Oh, I know. It's amazing.
I said, I got the top box. Now I reassembled the bottom. I said, now I slid the top box off the cart onto I just had to lift it a little. I said, and I did the minimal amount of physical labor.
Yeah.
I said, because now I'm working with my head. If I would have done this when I was 20, I wouldn't have a bad back now.
Yeah.
And she goes, you're crazy. You're going to get hurt. I'm like, I don't want to say if I haven't got hurt yet, I won't, because it can happen to anybody. I said, but I'm really thinking it out more now and using other things to help me out. So got to get it done. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You got to do it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because like I said, I moving the stuff around here in the garage and getting stuff replaced. And I think I was like, man, I put that cabinet here like 10 years ago, and I just, I used brute strength, I just, and now it's like, well, I built this little thing to go on my floor jack so I could pick this up so that I could put this dolly underneath, and
Right.
move things around. And
Yeah.
it's really, I have for my toolbox here, I have a hutch.
Uh-huh.
And it's out at the warehouse that I'm trying to move out of with those guys. And, I put that in there. Huh?
I thought you were out of that already.
Well, I've got, I have a little bit of stuff still over there. I just haven't had time to really spend a weekend, and it's all big stuff. I got that hutch is 84 inches long and 32 inches deep, and it's 32 inches high. I mean, it's pretty
No, I hit the wrong button. I'm trying to delete them, and they're not.
But it's
pretty.
it's a heavy piece, and thank God that I got the tool truck that I can, with the lift gate moving the stuff. But then I'm thinking, how in the hell am I going to move it, get it into the garage here to mount, to get it on? It's just trying to think all that out. And if the box, I'll have to one day show you. I've got all my boxes mounted together, so it's not like you just move.
Oh yeah,
it's all one. They're all pieced together, and
bolt them through the sides.
Yeah, so it's pretty much, it's the length of the wall of the shop. And
you didn't feel comfortable enough just locking the wheels that they wouldn't move.
Well, actually, when I had the stuff on the other side of the garage, that's the way I had it.
Yeah.
And what happened was, every once in a blue moon, if I banged up against the bot, everything kind of moved a little bit,
Yeah.
And so I made it more, I guess the word permanent, as I put it together to stay together. And I have they got a stainless steel top, but one section of it I have a wood top that I used if I want to really beat on something or whatever,
Yeah.
And that was all kind of laid in there, and I kind of made it permanent. And, like I said, when I was on the other side, I knew that I wasn't 100% positive that's where I wanted to stay.
Yeah.
And now it's actually kind of funny that I kind of like to move it towards all the way to the back of the garage. But I told myself to stop thinking those thoughts and just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Because I figure by the time I do that, then we'll finally decide to move, and maybe I can have a real size shop. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being under the house.
Yeah.
My garage is under the house. So
Yeah.
That's the only thing I wish. I wish it had a little taller ceilings, because it's pretty low down here.
Yeah.
So
shit.
I don't know. So other than that, you got most of your stuff all packed up and ready to go?
Yeah, I'm down to I'm down to the pens and pencil things in my left-hand drawer, my desk drawer. I got to take my radio off my desk lamp that I'm taking home, and I got to take a mirror off the wall. And everything else I've been doing this for since January, taking stuff every day, little. Some not, some days I didn't take stuff, but pretty much a constant flow of. And I was throwing a lot of stuff out from there too, getting rid of stuff in dumpsters, and so I'm pretty much. It's I actually planned it out and timed it pretty good. Where I'm I go back in on Tuesday. Get my last paid holiday on Monday, Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Tuesday, and that's it. When I leave, I'm done. So we were having, my wife made crab cakes tonight for dinner.
Oh,
So
yeah?
I tried a different recipe, and I said, I said, they say that, you got to go to Maine for lobster, but you got to go to either Delaware or Maryland for crabs.
Definitely Maryland.
I said, that's what Brian was telling me. She goes, yeah. She goes, we're going to have to go down here and do it. I'm like, yes, we are.
Yeah.
I said, you're not going to like the side trip I want to take, but yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, it's yeah, I was last week I went by my crab shack place to look, and man, a half bushel of crabs were through the roof, dude. All this stuff is so crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, she had a can of that. It was like canned crab. So we've used it for different things, for different recipes and all. And I mean, it's not bad. It really isn't bad.
Yeah,
but you can tell the difference. I remember there's a place out in Port Jeff, which is on the water on the north shore of the island here, and it was the old. I'm a big Eggs Benedict fan. That's one of my favorite breakfasts.
Yeah.
Linda makes for me here, and it's phenomenal. But we were out there in this waterfront place, and I didn't realize what was different until I looked. And on top of the English muffin, no, they probably didn't use an English muffin. They didn't use ham. It was a crab cake, and it was the eggs on the crab cake.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, wow, that was delicious. I'd never had it before anywhere else. I was like, that.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. That's that is one thing. That's why it's funny, because we'll go someplace and we'll see on the menu, Maryland style crab cakes,
Right.
And it's always funny because we'll be sitting there, and of course, the waiter or waitress or whatever will say, "Oh, where are you guys from?" And we'll say Maryland, and they say, "Oh, don't have the crab cakes."
Right. That's like when I see New York deli or New York style pizza. No. 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 You don't want me to have that.
Yeah, it was funny because me and the wife we'll always laugh at it when we see that, because we'll just say, yeah, right,
Yeah,
and
sure.
They'll say, "Oh, where are you guys from?" Maryland. "Oh, don't have the crab cake."
Right. So true.
Yeah. So that's funny. I don't know.
Cool stuff.
So
yeah, I met my buddy from the math department today. I gave him my refrigerator, my microwave, and my desk chair.
Wow.
You know what it was? He's a computer and math guy, so he's very smart, but not that mechanical. So, like, I've had him work on my computers, and I've worked on his cars, and it was, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe more. He had a brand new leather high back desk chair, and he said, "Hey, Ray," he goes, "I got this desk chair, but it won't stay up." I said, "Well, the cylinder is bad." He goes, "It's like brand new." He goes, "Can you take a look at it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come pick it up." So I went over there, and he says to me, "Listen, take it. You can have it." He goes, "If you can fix it, fine." He says, "We got another one." I'm like, "Okay." So I get it over to me, and where I am, and I flip it over. I see it's made by Hon, Hon, I think. It's a very popular desk chair company. So I took the card out. I call them up, and I get service, and I give them the model number of the chair. It was under warranty, so they send me the cylinder.
Yeah.
It ends up he couldn't. There was like I guess like an E-clip, and it was kind of recessed, and they couldn't figure out how to get it apart. So I saw all these like scratch marks. I'm like, okay. So I got my pick, took it apart, changed the cylinder. He checks with me in a couple of days. He goes, "Hey, do you ever get rid of that chair?" So I'm sitting in it. "What do you mean? It's kind of low." I'm like, "No, dude, I fixed it." "What do you mean?" I said, "Yeah, they sent me the cylinder for free." He goes, "How'd you get it out?" I'm like, "Well, that's a trade secret." I said, "I can't tell you that." I said, so now he remembered it. He says, "Do you still have that chair?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Can I have it back?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can have it back. I don't need it."
Yeah.
Take it.
That's funny.
Yeah. So he got his chair back. I even cleaned it for him, cleaned it all up. It's amazing how much dust gets on a desk chair.
Yeah.
In the in the crack between the back and the bottom. Yeah. So cleaned it all up for him.
Yeah, you're lucky you didn't have a cat or a dog running around in the office because you should see the.
Oh, I know at home. I see what happens here at the house. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Every so often I'll hear the wife down there beating and banging because she'll, be trying to clean out the chair or whatever.
Right.
From rolling.
Yeah.
It's that's one thing. Especially having like our Goldens, with them shedding all, they're going through their winter and summer coats or whatever, man. It's a lot of hair. You wonder where the third dog is sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I know.
I don't know.
I get like cat hair everywhere. So yeah, that's just a natural thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw a cool ad today. I was going to send it to you, but it's actually a Snap-on ad. They had a toolbox. It looked like an older box, and they had a bunch of tools lined up, air tools, whatever. But the guy on his box had come here to me. He had one of these. He had the metal Porsche crest, and he had some other like Porsche and Porsche badges and stuff on the toolbox. I'm like, oh, that's cool. It must have been out of a guy's shop. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was neat. That's cool stuff. But
yeah, I've got a crest on the one, and then the other one I've got in 2000 when I was in the competition from I came in third or whatever on the competition. They used to do it was like I guess testing or whatever. They would have problem cars come in and trying to stump, and it was always, and then the legacy series, and the history and all that stuff, and like I said, that was pretty interesting. I got actually, like I said, the things that I had gotten a offer to go to Champaign, Porsche in Florida.
Uh-huh.
So that was during that time period. And that was when they were, actually it was a little earlier than that, because that was when they were getting into, they did a lot of racing stuff.
Right.
And of course, being a not knowing what you know now, it was like, oh, we want you to come down here and work when you can be on the race team. Well, what do you want to pay me? Well, no, you don't get paid. You're working at the dealership. This is
right.
And you're paying your dues. And
that's right.
I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. And of course, now you look back and you're like, that was paying your dues. You had
definitely.
So that's some crazy.
So
crazy stuff.
I sent you that picture the other day about I had to clean some stuff out here to let an exterminator come in. And I thought what was in this big white box was something different. And then I pull it out and I'm like, huh? I'm looking, it was the airfoil from the Audi or the Rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wondering, like, you think that's a sellable part? You think somebody might be looking for one of those? I mean, it's
a good possibility. It was
in a Porsche box, but the box was trash. So, but that thing is in it's in plastic, and the instructions are in there. I'm like, wow, my brother brought that home from the dealership.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see that it fit a Rabbit too.
Oh, really?
That's what it said. Let me see here. Let me look at I could go get the damn thing. It's right next door, but I did take a picture of it. Well, because I sent you the picture.
Yeah.
It says, wind deflector for Rabbit sedan, Jetta, Quantum, for Vanagon, and for Audi 5000. Yeah. It's dated 4/83.
Wow.
Tools required: 1 medium-sized screwdriver. That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's either a guy out there who's dying, who's looking for one of them, or nobody in the world ever wants.
Yeah, well, that's
it's actually NOS. It's never been on a car.
Yeah, that's that right there. I mean, like I said, because unfortunately, all those makes are like gone to the waste. I mean, to find something, I mean, that's the problem that I have with my 4000. You can't find any kind of reproduction part or parts. I mean,
yeah,
and again, when you find something, most of the stuff that I had all went back to Germany. It's really amazing.
I had a 5000, but I seem to remember with the because I had to fix the sunroof. I bought it from a Porsche mechanic, and the guy was like the worst in the world because I had to fix everything on the car that he couldn't fix. And I remember like when you put the sunroof back, there was a little piece that flipped up, like a little screen that would flip up.
Yeah.
So I guess this is just an added layer of wind resistance, I guess.
Yeah. Well, this goes over. This went up front, and so that, like I said, if you left it open, nothing had got inside.
So it's like a vent shield side window, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even know. That might not even. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's Autobahn. Yeah, that's their aftermarket or suppliers. That's original stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
I actually Googled that part number and I got all sorts of Russian stuff, such crazy shit. Nothing came up. It didn't come up to that part, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, that's I remember installing those things because they had those little metal tabs that you put in,
right,
and then it bolted down. And it was like I said, it's dark in color. It's like a sun visor,
Yeah, it's tinted.
Kind of so when you had it's the sunroof slightly open or even all the way open.
Yeah.
It took care. I mean, it blocked the sun. Yeah, it was, like I said, it's just one of those things of finding the right person, and that's the only problem. Of course, it'll be like anything else, Ray. Day that you decide to finally throw it away, somebody will say, "Hey, don't you have that thing?"
Yep, I know.
It never fails.
That's what I tell my wife all the time. I said, as soon as you get rid of it, you got to find people who want it.
That's why I have half the stuff still sitting here. I know I'll never use it, but as soon as I get rid of it, I'll need it for something.
But me, like an idiot, my buddy at the body shop, a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, I think it was, a guy came in driving an MG. It was a nice MG, and he wanted to have work done on a different car, and he has a Fiat Spider also. So he needed some parts for the Fiat. So my buddy says, "Oh, I got a friend's got that car. He's got some parts." So he gives him my number. The guy's looking for a set of interior door handles.
Yeah.
And they're just straight chrome handles. I'm like, "Yeah, I got a set." Because I stripped the car. I said, I got a whole unit, a whole, rack unit full of parts from that car. So he says, "Oh, good. How much you want from him?" I said, "Let me make sure I got him first." So I'm digging around, digging. Finally found him. I cleaned him up and all, make him shine nice. I sent the guy a text, "Look, I got him. Come on by whenever you're ready." Comes by and I look him up now, and they're going. Even repro ones are going for like about $32, $34 a piece. So the guy comes and he brought his MG. And I'm looking at it. It's a nice car. It's detailed nice. The guy had like some kind of Scottish accent, so he was, from overseas, and we hit it off. He's a nice guy. We're talking, and then he says, "Listen, how much do I owe you for these?" I'm like, "Just don't worry about it. Just take them." I said, "You know what? You need them for your car." They were sitting in the shed. So I told my wife, I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm my own worst enemy. The stuff I say I'm saving to sell, I end up giving it to people."
Yep.
But I'd rather give it to somebody who'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like if it was on the internet and I didn't see him, yeah, I'd sell it to him. But when I see him, it's all over.
Yeah. I do this. I do the exact same thing.
Where did you go? Uh-oh. Come back, Brian. Come back. I don't even see you. All right. Oh, there he is.
Wow, what happened there?
You disappeared. The naked HD thing came on and you went off. It was like bing, bing.
Yeah, it told me I had an error. It said there's an error and it's not your fault.
Oh, nice.
Like,
nice.
Okay, I wish I can carry that sign around all the time. I mean,
right?
Not my fault.
I was just carried upstairs.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Boy,
Look, they told me it's not my fault.
that wouldn't go over real well with a house full of women.
I know. It's something at least, you know. It's like the other day, I was trying to tell my wife, me and her and my daughter were having dinner, and I was trying to tell her that on Wednesday I was going to go to the shop after work. I'm only working a half day because I could work, so I got to work on that caddy. And I was going to try and explain to her, you know, but my daughter, they were just talking and like ignoring me. Yeah. So I was like, I'm talking to the potatoes. I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. It's okay. Fine. All right. So yesterday when I'm leaving for work, she goes, okay, I'll see you for lunch. Like, no, what do you mean? I said, I told you what I was doing. She goes, what did you? I said, you didn't listen to me. I said, you just blew me off. So I was like, you don't want to listen to me. Fine. Don't come looking for me either.
Yeah, the only problem with that, Ray, is you just don't realize they got the tracking device in you anyway. You can't go too far.
We actually do use the thing on the phone that we could, you know, it's like a network. We could see where everybody is.
Yeah.
I really did it for the kids. So when they were driving, like I could see, you know, if they were, you know, somewhere they shouldn't be or whatever.
Right.
At least I'd know where they were. So,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah, those are the technology, huh?
Right. Electronic nanny. Oh, funny stuff.
Yeah. But I did, like I said, the same thing about just take it. It's been sitting here forever. Just might as well just take it if you can use it. And
I was going to say what I started doing is with my friends, some of my friends' kids who are getting into stuff, I'm giving them stuff. Yeah. Like that tap and die set. I finally got that all together. I know this kid wants to pay for it because he's got some money, but I'm just like, I think I'm just trying to tell him, give me $50.
Right.
You know what? It's probably worth a couple $100. If you bought this off a tool truck, you'd be spending $500-$600.
Yep.
Give me $50.
Yeah.
You know, that's fine.
And it was funny because I have one of my customers, he built a electric scooter thing. You know, he took he's been playing around and he's slowly building up the size of the motor because he wants to go faster and faster, you know, and
right.
And finally he got to a point where I don't know how fast or whatever, but he needed a set of forks from a different scooter to mount dual disc brakes, you know, and the whole 9 yards. And I said, hey, you know, I'm cleaning out the stuff from my dad's shop. I said, there's a pretty big size electric motor. I don't really know anything about it. You know, if you're interested. And he's like, yeah, bring it on by. I'll take a look at it. Or, you know, bring it by. And so I, you know, took it to him today, you know, and he's like, holy crap, look at this thing. It's like 1 horsepower. And it's a General Electric and it's like USA. I mean, I said, dude, this thing's probably like, you know, 30 years old. And my dad said it worked, you know, I mean, you know,
the only problem is that's an AC motor. He needs DC.
Yeah. Well, they actually, in this world of changing the stuff, they use a lot of AC motor. They use an inverter.
I was just thinking today, I was driving the FJ and I was thinking, man, with these gas prices, I wonder if I could convert this thing to electric.
Yeah.
You know, but a big giant GE motor in this thing.
Yeah. So, but he was all excited. He's like, well, how much? And I said, you know what, dude, it's been sitting for X amount of time. Just, you know, if you could use it, great.
I tell you, there's a couple of motors I'm leaving at the job. And I know they're worth, I got a couple here too. They are really worth their weight in gold, especially the older ones, the GEs, the American ones, like you said, even for scrap. Just the wire for scrap is worth a good amount of money.
Well, that's what I was going to do. I was just going to take it down to my scrapyard thing But I figured, and I just told him because that was one of the things he was talking about, because in experimenting from the AC to DC and with the inverter stuff, he said one of the most expensive part is buying the motor.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
for that. And I was like, look, dude, he says, you're going to be experimenting. I said, just use this, and it's already opened the door up for you. And he's like, man, that's awesome. And I was like, dude, because like I said,
it gives you a good feeling to do that.
I rather see somebody use it than because by the time I get it to the scrapyard, it's going to sit here for another 5 years.
It's funny. It reminded me when I gave this guy the refrigerator and the microwave and all, and he said, how long have you had this? And it's a funny story with these refrigerators. It's the one, it's like the 4-foot style one, right? I said, I have 2 of them, and I know how I got one. I don't know how I got the second. And I said, my buddy, and this is going back to like the early 90s, had this thing. He put it out on his deck in the summer, and he just wanted to keep beer in it.
Yeah.
And we're over there one day, and actually, he's the guy that I worked on with the
sign,
the pinstriping. So we go over there, and he says, "Here, take a beer before they get too cold." I said, "What do you mean? Beer can't get too cold." He goes, "No, they always freeze up in this refrigerator, and I don't know why." I said, "Well, it's got to be like a temperature controller or something, or a thermocouple. It's got to be something." So I go over there like a week later, or whatever, and he says to me, you were talking about this refrigerator with the temperature controller. He goes, you want to play around with this thing?" He goes, "Here, take it." He goes, I'm sick of it. I'm buying a new one." He goes, "If you want to take it." I'm like, "Okay, I could use it for work."
Yeah. So
I bring it to work. I'm looking at it. Now I'm looking at it all over, and I realized rather quickly it was a freezer. It wasn't a refrigerator. Like, you dummy. So it just so happened there was a guy at the job, a student who was an older student, and he heard me talking about, getting rid of the damn thing. And he says, "Hey, wait a minute. That's a freezer?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "If you're getting rid of it, can I have it?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can have it." He says, "Do you need a refrigerator?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Because I got the same size refrigerator that I don't need. How about I trade you?" I'm like, "Yeah, excellent." So we swapped. That's how I got one. I don't know how I got the other one. So now the guy today was looking it over, and I cleaned it all up. It looked better than new because, when you use it, it gets dirty. I cleaned it. So he says, "How old is this?" I'm like, "I don't know. I've had it for a while." Well, I said, "I know the microwave I bought like in the early 2000s, maybe the mid 2000s. I get home. He sends me a picture of the real label because it was 1988. The thing was made.
Wow.
So I said to him, "Ed," I said, "I told you that thing was running until yesterday when I unplugged it and melted all the ice out of the freezer section because it always ices up. That's self-defrosting." I said, he goes, "Wow, I didn't realize it was so old." I said, "I'll tell you something. You should be happy it's so old because it's so old and it still works. If it was newer, it would have broken down 10 years ago."
Yep.
I said, "That thing will keep going." I said, "Every once in a while, there's the bushings. There's like an expansion tank under there." I said, "Every once in a while, when the compressor cycles, the tank rattles and you hear that little." Said, "That's the only thing this thing does besides ice up the freezer portion." I said, "It's just the bushings are worn." I said, "It'll keep your food fine." But I said, "You should be lucky it's that old."
Yeah. We got the refrigerator that down here is kind of acting up, and it's like you said, it's 20 some years old,
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I really hope this thing doesn't go south because
I'll tell you though, it was a year ago today that I had my refrigerator in my kitchen rebuilt, and that refrigerator was only 7-8 years old. It was a $3,000, $32 refrigerator, and and the guy came. They had to change the compressor, the evaporator, the whole shit. And actually, there was a class action lawsuit against LG, so they covered most of it.
Yep.
But I said to him, "This really sucks." He goes, "Wow." He goes, "How long have you had this?" I was like, 8 years. He goes, "Wow, you did better. You're doing better than some people." I'm like, "What?" I said, "This thing cost me more than some of the cars I've bought in my life, and now it's bad, and you're saying that's good service. I'm like, that's not good service. That's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
said,
No, like I said,
you know, I said I want to go buy a 1958 Frigidaire and put it in. I said that thing will still be working.
Right. So I think this weekend, I don't know when the last time, but I think I'm going to blow out the coils in the back, blow it all out, clean it up, and just defrog it. And, it's not that bad, but like I said, we've had, it's been acting up, and
Right.
I just hope it's like taking care of something after 10 years.
I know. You got any plans for the weekend? Anything going on this weekend?
No, actually, I'm going to really, 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 really try hard on getting my taxes done.
Okay.
I've been so bad, and I got a mound of paperwork here, and I'm hoping to get that, and I really need to clean out the tool truck. It's I haven't had much time cleaning it out. It's pretty messy.
Yeah.
And I mean, the way things have gone, of course, I've already loaded up on. I had one guy. One of my customers moved into a service rider, so he had to get his toolbox out, and I picked that up today, and it's in the truck, and I gotta go deliver it to his house. I'll take it to his house.
That's all I wanted to say. I saw it on I guess Michael's video a couple weeks ago. The tool cart that has the Toyota logo on it, just that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's a cool retro little thing. If you know what it means, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he says, he goes, my Toyota guys go nuts. Everybody wants one of these. I'm like,
yeah,
they do.
They had 3 of them in a series. They had one like a Miami Vice. It was a teal with a sunset. It looked, it was the Miami Vice. And then they had a purple one that had like a moon thing. And then they had that. And supposedly, they have 3 more coming out. And one of them is the Truckster, the Griswold's station wagon.
Oh, wow, cool.
It's a greenish color with the wood grain.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other 2.
That's cool. That's good. That's a good idea. That's good marketing.
Yeah. It's just, it'd be really nice if they platformed it a lot. I mean, got it out there and not do something stupid as here's the pitch, and you only have a week to order it, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, the market. Again, you could get me started. I don't even know if I have it here. No, was it this? No, we got a new flyer, and it has some kind of a need for speed, and it has all these prizes, but it doesn't even tell you how to enter the thing.
Great.
I just look at them and like, so, it's bad enough that every person I hand to is going to ask me about it, and I don't even know how you get in.
Right.
And so,
yeah, that's not too good.
Yeah. So, but other than that, like I said, just try to. I don't know. I'll probably work half a day on Monday. I still have a lot of shops that my non-Americans that don't take holidays.
Right.
So it'll be about a half day.
Gotta
do that and hopefully get some paperwork.
Yeah, we're going out to a friend's house on Sunday. Actually, after the show, I got to come home, do my uploads and blah, blah, blah. We got to get in the car and go out east. We go out a couple times a year. It's a good friend of ours, and we we'll sit around. And this guy, I think I might have sent you a picture of his. He's got a Matco toolbox, a fairly big one. And actually, he was selling it a couple of years ago, and I was going to buy it from him, and then he changed his mind. So, but he's a body man, and now he's working out of his house. So he sent me a picture. I'm always busting his balls about how freaking messy everything is.
Yeah.
You know, inside and outside the toolbox. It doesn't matter. You open a drawer and there's like just shit piled in there. You know, I know where everything is. Like, okay. And then he sends me a picture. I'm like, TJ, you know, why send me pictures of your toolbox again? Dude, look, I cleaned them up. It's so clean. I'm like, no, not really. I'm like, yeah, there was still shit on the top. But for him, it was clean. He could actually see parts of the top of the toolbox. He couldn't see before. I'm like, okay, I guess in your world, that's clean. But that's not clean.
My mentor, the guy I worked with when I first started, and unfortunately I could be just as bad as he, but he had a roll cart, and it was a mound of tools. It was just a mound, and it would be so funny because you'd be like, you know, I need a 14 millimeter wrench or whatever, and it was like, here, you know, and it's like, how in the world could you ever find it in that? Right. But he knew where everything was. It was, and you could ask for like the strangest thing, like, you know, you need a, you know, something standard even, you know, and he goes, oh, it's just a little deeper, you know, because we don't use that as much, you know, and pulls out. So, and it was funny because when I left there and went to the dealership, I used to go over on the weekends to help him still. And one day I walked in and he's like, he goes, oh, yeah. He goes, this is your 10 millimeter wrench, you know? And I'm like, how do you know it's mine? And he goes, well, this isn't mine. And because I have mine right here and this has got to be your, you know? And I'm like, whatever, dude. You know?
Yeah.
I never thought I was missing one, but.
Right.
So, yeah, it was crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So. I don't know, Ray.
I don't know either.
But gotta get ready for credit cards.
Yeah.
Get ready to. I don't know if my printer didn't. I might be out of paper. I didn't print my route sheet for tomorrow.
Gotta make a route sheet. Yeah.
Yeah, I got my list. If you're on it, you're good or bad in my route sheet.
Okay.
So get that all ready and. They had clearance. I didn't get all of them, but they had where is it? They had clearance on I guess they're cleaning out, but they had hole saws.
Oh, yeah.
And I picked up a few extras.
Okay.
I like when they have their clearance.
You move a lot of those? I mean, I can't see how.
What do you mean?
I haven't used a hole saw in automotive work that much. So I'm curious, like, what guys are doing with them.
I don't know. Well, like I said, well, actually, the I know what they're doing because these are USA. And the replacements are not USA.
Ah, okay.
So they're changing over a line or changing, and I figured if they're 50% off. Grab a couple extra. Never know.
You know anybody who's in the market for some green leaf punches?
Huh? Green? No.
I got a box full of those.
Yeah, they had. I don't even know where I put them. They had those transfer punches.
Oh, just the straight punches with the point.
With the point, you know, for doing. And I used to use those all the time for, you know, because they're the hole sizes, you know, it was God, I don't even know where I put that damn thing. But it was great for doing exhaust manifolds,
Yeah.
drilling them out and so forth.
Yeah.
But that was like, I mean, shit. The hacksaw blades.
Oh yeah.
You know, all this stuff, all of this is USA, and you ain't gonna find that stuff anywhere.
Right. Right.
And I mean, these were just a couple of bucks.
Nice.
So might as well stock up.
Sure.
And they had between that and the they didn't have a picture, I didn't know, but this right here is a brush. I think this is for a
Master cylinder.
Oil passage or something.
Big oil passage.
Or whatever. That's what it was listed under. But it
It's
had
like
I like to find the other piece of the tool that went on there.
Yeah, it's like a 1/2-inch pipe thread.
Yeah.
Wow, that's serious, man. That's serious.
That's
That's a torture device on a drill.
Yeah, man, I was like, dude, I gotta find something to. I don't know what I could clean with that, but
yeah, right.
That's pretty bad. That's like what Keith was talking about. Older guys with extra money, because I mean, for $2, you know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah. I don't know. Ray.
All right. It's time to get the heck out of here and go put the garbage out. And
yeah, I gotta get ready and check
on.
on.
I noticed our friend from Bad Tree was in the house. That's good. Good to see you. So, all right. So since there's nobody else here, Johnny's out of service for a while. We got to get him back in. So that means the chore of saying goodnight is up to you. So for Lewis Lee, Playing in Traffic, Ray Guarino, Motormouth Radio, Matco Man Brian is going to tell us what not to do.
Don't follow us home. Unless you got ring dings or
pastrami sandwich.
Man, you know, I could really go for a pastrami sandwich.
Pastrami on rye, deli mustard, sauerkraut.
Actually, did you see the new thing they were talking about with the Ritz crackers?
Yeah.
The jam, what was it, strawberry jam or some kind of jam?
Ritz cracker with something in an Oreo inside. I don't know.
With the Oreo cream put on top or something like that. This is the new craving. I don't know.
I'm kind of a purist. I like my Oreos by the sleeve.
Oh well. All right, maybe I'll go up and have a bagel instead.
That's good. All right, Brian, have a good Memorial Day.
Yeah, you do the same, Ray. Be safe. Watch out.
Yep.
Watch out for that monkeypox.
Oh, yeah. I saw they showed pictures of that stuff on the news tonight. Oh, my God. It is gruesome looking. And then and I'm watching, and all the guys look like they were from, like, Africa or Nairobi, and they said, yeah, it was kind of like that. But then they said, yeah, it's predominantly in gay or bisexual men. I'm like, oh, great. It's like the AIDS scare of the 80s again. It's like with Nigerians and Haitians where they wouldn't let them give blood. Like, oh my God. I don't know. I'm safe. I think I'm safe.
This is a crazy, crazy world, huh?
Yes, the crazy world of Arthur Brown. Yeah.
All right, Ray.
Okay,
Be
Brian.
safe, and I'll talk to you later.
Yep. We'll see you later. Good night. And